Hello, listening people.
Hello,
I'm Ryan Sliwinski,
I'm Bartek.
and you're listening to Spin Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. And we're Spin Polish, likingly, because we're always spitting.
And we're both spitting.
Yes, and we both happen to be Polish. And what we do on Unappreciated Masterpieces is we talk about those forgotten gems of movies. We delve in deep into the movies that may have been forgotten by the general masses. The ones that deserve to be shown to the world as movies that need to be appreciated. And what movie are we talking about today, Bartek?
Okay, so the movie we're watching today is called Surf Ninjas.
I do not understand because, as you know, I do not speak Polish.
Okay, well look, Surf Ninjas in English is Surf Ninjas.
I guess I will have to take your word for it, I guess.
Right, wait, who said just then?
I do believe it was a ghost.
Oh.
Now, today we are joined with the amazing guest that is Sam Noonan.
Amazing is a strong word, but I'll take it.
Amazing is a strong word, and he will take
Strong
it...
word for a strong man.
Thank you.
Stop lying. Alright, so we are talking about Surf Ninjas, which was made in 1993.
That's the year you and I were born.
Yes, Bartek and I were born in that year. Old man Sam Noonan here was way before 1993, weren't you?
I was born 1990, so
Way older.
yeah, that's quite a lot.
He is
Whoa.
decades ahead.
There's a 0 in his birth year.
Because he's a 0. We've already gone over this.
0 to hero.
It's very easy to keep track of my age that way.
You
Oh,
think?
yeah, it would be.
Oh, well. Well, I guess we'll have to take your word for it. No, so Surf Ninjas is a 1993 film. This marks a little thing for us because this is the first film we've done on this show that has not been in the early 2000s.
Or the 21st century.
Or the 21st century at all. This is the first film we've done that has been in the 90s, and it marks this a special occasion because, you know, the film is an interesting one, and it is also the first film in which I had not seen it previous to doing this show. Sam here recommended that we should do Surf Ninjas. In fact, many years ago I met Sam, and one of the first things he recommended was, Ryan, you should watch Surf Ninjas. And he did not sell me on it back then, which was my biggest regret of all, because now having watched the movie, it sure is a movie. It really is. I'm very glad that you recommended this movie. It has everything you want. Ninjas who surf. I mean, it's all there in the title.
It's a short checklist, but
It's a big checklist. It's got many of things. When we start to watch it, we'll go through this checklist.
Yes.
And no, Surf Ninjas is that interesting one because I watched it. And it's different because we've been watching the early 2000s films, and the difference in filmmaking is quite astonishing. And look, just to simply say, when I watched this film made in the 90s, having had to watch many a film so far made in the early 2000s, this is all I can say. This film made me miss watching films from the early 2000s, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it makes me yearn to watch more films, and that's what a film should do. You watch a film and you're like, man, I need to watch more films, and that's the highest praise I can give Surf Ninjas right now. But we'll start diving into Surf Ninjas. We shall start boogieing on with Surf Ninjas in 3, 2, 1, play. Here we are. Now, we usually watch these with the sound down and subtitles. But obviously, I couldn't find a copy of Surf Ninjas with English subtitles.
They're all in the museum.
Yeah, they're all in the Museum of Surf Ninjas.
time capsule.
For the moment being, we may laugh at some points because our subtitles are ones that have been from a foreign language and then auto-translated through Google Translate back into English. So we'll have some moments where we will just kind of scoff because the subtitles are just amusing. Sam, why this movie? Why was this the one?
This was the movie where me and my brothers, every time we would go to the video store, regardless of age or years past, it would be like, can we also get Surf Ninjas? No matter what other films we had, Surf Ninjas was the perfect film to go along with those films.
Yeah, and what about it is so perfect? I'm looking at it and I'm questioning.
Well, their fluoro wetsuits were not unlike those that we would wear.
So you would surf?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a great surfer.
But you did surf,
I am capable of surfing,
as are these guys.
which is.
Would you
just
say that you're
I'm
the-
also capable of being a ninja,
Yeah.
which is another thing. All kids love ninjas.
So who did you relate to in this movie? Were you the Iggy? Because you did not surf properly, but you can have the ability. Spoiler alert, there's a character called Iggy in it.
As much as I normally relate to Rob Schneider, I think the character I related to the most was probably the one playing his Game Boy the entire film.
Not
Game Boy.
Sega.
But,
That was Sega's answer to the Game Boy.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
you related to the Game Boy itself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sega's
human.
answer to the Game Boy.
Not the human, but the machine in which they play their games.
Yes. Not the. Are you sure? Because that that game was really relatable.
That game was made for this movie, and then it was released after, and it got poor reviews because the controls were finicky.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
I like how he has an eye patch. And
It's the cleanest eye patch I've ever seen.
it's pretty cool. No. Have you watched Escape from New York?
Fruit Loops, there we've got some product placement, I assume.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to eat Fruit Loops at my house, only on Christmas.
Oh, what a Christmas treat. I was allowed to eat them, but I never really cared for them because I was a Nutri-Grain kid. Nutri-Grain kid, but the chocolate ones.
Cocoa Pops?
No, it's like a chocolate milkshake, but only crunchy. No, advertisement here.
Coco the Monkey,
As
please
well.
come back.
I like just this film is the acting is superb. This guy
Excellent.
really sells the fact that he loves his dad. Like I believe him, but then oh my god, it was a lie all along. He got me.
Yeah.
It
And
was.
he also
smooth.
fooled his dad.
He also even
fooled
though
us all, yeah.
even though his dad was having a whole speech about you can't fool me. I know that you're being smooth.
Yeah. And also, you two are clearly Asian, and I'm not Asian.
Yeah, but I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, so I guess it's close enough. Like
Yeah. Polynesian?
Yeah,
Asian?
Hawaiian shirt in Los Angeles, well, California.
it's Los Angeles, isn't it?
It's
Yeah, it is.
definitely...
Well, it's the same. Well, yeah.
Yeah. They're both
Los
the same.
Angeles is in California. I was just
Why
being more
can't it all be
specific.
the same?
Geographically, that's correct.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm reading the subtitles and one of them was the cat has a rebuttal and I'm like
Really?
and I don't know what that was originally supposed to be.
I was thinking of coming to do this episode with that bandana.
Here he is,
That would have
guys.
been excellent. Look at his hair
Saving
colour, too.
grace of the film, I would say. Rob Schneider with his 90s red hair.
Yeah.
The red and blonde hair, people forget. Okay, people remember the 90s, the weird orangey blonde hair was very popular, but people forget that the weird orangey red hair was also very popular, and it's because Rob Schneider popularized it in this
started that.
movie. I
Yeah,
think Rob
absolutely.
Schneider started a lot. Like, he's not even wearing a bandana, he's wearing boxer shorts on his head.
That tied up to look like a bandana.
I didn't even know that until watching it this time
Oh,
round.
yeah, you're right. It is.
Because-
Props to the costume department. on
Props
that.
to Rob Schneider.
Did you know that scene right there was what inspired MasterChef? Rob Schneider cooking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that.
It had a very improvised feel as to what he was cooking. as well.
I read that somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
Omelets and anchovies is what they just said.
Oh, good. Why does he? I was thinking like he has an eye patch, and it's like, is this Metal Gear Solid the movie? I wasn't too sure. I needed a video game expert like Bartek here because in case you haven't listened to any of the other podcasts, Bartek has played Grand Theft Auto a couple of times.
Surf motor.
Oh, you said Grand
Just as
Oh,
brothers.
right. Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto.
That is the most
So-
dangerous.
We were talking about Metal Gear Solid, and you're like Grand Theft Auto. I'm like,
Well,
what?
you've played video games.
Yes.
I just wanted to take. This is the most dangerous way to drive a car I can think of.
I like how
They're
it is
driving
such.
a little Jeep.
I like how nobody's driving the steering wheel at all.
He's got his foot on it. Yeah. Who's accelerating this car?
Well, Rob Schneider sat down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who surfs with a paddle?
Yeah.
I don't get this. It doesn't make any sense.
Very-
Well,
Stupid.
there's in a few shots. There's going to be someone being, pulled over for it.
I
There
do
you
like.
go.
I do like how
thank
this is
God.
such a problem. This is such a problem in this town. The police have even named it. Like they're
doing.
motorized.
They
motos.
just pulled a paddle out of a separate car. Like these kids were also doing it.
No, that's what I mean. Like these kids got pulled over for doing it. It's such a problem that the cops are now looking out for it.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Like it's so
Now,
popular
yeah.
that it's a menace to society here.
Here
I mean,
in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Yes.
For a while, I thought it like before they said Los Angeles, like like obviously I don't know the '90s LA as well as I should, but for a little while, like before they actually started going to the streets, I thought it was in Hawaii for some reason because they're like beachy, and I thought, oh, it's a ninja surf movie. Where else would you do it? Hawaii.
Yeah,
but
well,
LA is the correct answer.
Well, Ryan, as
Los
you
Angeles.
as you just said,
City of Angels.
California.
as you just said, I know video games. I know GTA. GTA San Andreas was not Los Angeles 1992.
Oh, of course.
So I know my way around this place.
Yeah.
So Rob Schneider's career was very interesting at this point because around this time he's doing quite a lot and will do quite a lot, like Judge Dredd, Demolition Man, Surf Ninjas.
Home Alone 2 was
Home
the year
Alone
prior
2.
to this.
I can't remember who was he in Home Alone 2.
He was the bag boy at the hotel, and he requested a tip, held his hand out. Macaulay Culkin puts the gum in his hand.
The only thing I remember from Home Alone 2 is two things. Obviously, he gets left again, but that's obvious. I remember the bird lady, and Tim
lady.
Curry.
Okay.
And how can you forget Tim Curry in any movie?
Seems like you also forgot Rob Schneider.
I love this teacher. This teacher look like he reminds me of Ben Stein, but with attitude. The teacher from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
I like this spot.
But with emotion. I prepared any.
Wow.
Now,
so prepared. He's prepared literally anything.
Yeah. Now, it was a little bit subtle, but back in our first episode on Big Fat Liar, I made
Subtlety is what we're about.
Yes, I made a subtle reference to the fact that I really liked Saved by the Bell when I was growing up.
Yes.
So there's a scene coming up here that is what inspired Saved by the Bell, which was made a few years before this.
Foreshadowing. I love trash ninjas. Like, why is it that their mode of transport is a garbage truck? These are the things I want to know. Like,
because they're able to fit quite a lot of ninjas.
Yeah, but why can't they
there.
just have a truck? Like, they could fit more ninjas than just normal
questions
trucks.
a garbage truck.
Nobody questions the garbage man. I like this guy is so evil. He's just like, yeah, I know this guy's prepared nothing. Let's humiliate him in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Like, what a great teacher.
There's always that one teacher
And
that
it's
teaches you about
Sam,
semicolons.
Bartek, you guys are going to be teachers or studying to be. Is that going to be your teaching method? Humiliation?
Oh, yeah.
Terror?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Probably.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be a musical. It was a musical, Sam. You didn't tell me about that. I lost my shit when it started being a musical number. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah, this scene
Barbara
inspired...
Ram. As it's being translated to us. The song Barbara Ram.
Yeah, this scene inspired the scene in Saved by the Bell where they danced to this song, which inspired some movie called Risky Biznaz or something.
I know for a fact that this inspired Reservoir Dogs. That scene in which they're dancing and they're singing. There's a scene in Reservoir Dogs in which a polite young man dances to a song with a cutthroat razor. It's a very beautiful scene. If you have kids, watch that film. Really good.
Kids love dogs.
Kids
do
love
love
dogs.
dogs.
And they
Don't
love,
we all
and
love
they also love
dogs?
reservoirs. Who knew? I like this whole sequence. It's just like, where is Spain? And I was hoping like,
Do we ever find out?
no, I was hoping that he got it on the first go. Like I thought it was, and everyone's laughing like,
And
haha. Little
jokes
did
on
he
you
know.
guys, he knows exactly where Spain is.
It's like little did they know we knew where Spain was the whole time.
I haven't seen the movie, but there's a movie called the Street Fighter movie.
Yes, of
Do
course.
they wear a lot of blue camo?
They wear it's the exact
Blue
same.
camo.
It's the exact same outfits.
They're actually the exact same
Oh, wow.
ninjas.
I
They're the same
noticed.
actors.
Yeah, they were filming at the same
Playing
time.
the ninjas.
Oh, here he is, guys. We are getting the legendary dramatic actor that is
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Yeah, we all know Steve Martin as a dramatic actor. We can't forget him in such dramatic films as, Cheaper by the Dozen 2. Tears roll down my face when that film comes on. And Sam's a big fan of that movie because it has Clark Kent in it himself. From
Hilary
the amazing, Hilary Duff is Clark Kent.
Don't forget that he was also in the naked Pink Panther.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that too. I love this joke.
The running joke of the phone.
The running joke of like his answering machine is really aggressive and people don't like leave a message because of how aggressive it is, and he misses
never
it.
gets to the phone in time.
Yeah, and then he does eventually.
He's sort of set himself up for failure.
Actually, I think...
Here's what I love.
Wasn't
He's
this
got-
the only time?
And those stairs. Too.
Yeah, I love he's got the technology to have robotic limbs and a
Yeah.
face, but he can't have a wireless phone.
No.
and he can't have a mobile phone, which existed in the 90s. I know.
He
shock.
has a wireless phone. I mean, the phone he's holding. Has
Yeah, it
no
is wireless,
wire
but
on it.
like he has to put it back or it won't do it proper. Like, look at him. I love somebody wrote this. This is the part that I love. Somebody sat down and went,
I was wrong. I thought you were going to say that somebody wrote Iggy.
Somebody wrote Iggy as well. Fun fact for you music fans out there.
Yeah.
Did you know that Iggy Azalea watched this film as a very young girl, and she said, yes, I'm inspired by Rob Schneider's look, and I want to name my music persona after Rob Schneider's brilliant work on Surf Ninjas. Hence, Iggy in this film is an inspiration for Iggy Azalea. Who knew?
Well,
Did you know that he's going to wax his surfboard?
I did not know that. I could not tell by it.
I'm sure it's not all he's going to wax.
There is actually quite a number of parts in this movie where the ground is really frictionless. Like,
Yeah.
people just slide all over it.
I do love it. I love this movie so much. So, Sam, do you remember the first time ever watching this movie?
I probably don't remember the first time because I would have been 3 or 4.
So you didn't get to see it in the cinema.
No, I didn't. I didn't see it in the cinema. I believe Civic Video Mornington was the first to provide us with the opportunity.
I'll
to
plug
watch.
for that store if it's still there.
It's not. I believe it's now a Jets Anytime Fitness.
If you want to get fit, go there.
Yeah,
Is that where you go to get fit?
it is not.
Well, what a shame. It would have made it beautiful.
Too many memories.
Steven Spielberg loves this scene.
Yeah, this scene inspired Schindler's List. Very much, I agree. So
this
And there's an equal amount of Oscar nominations between this film and that.
So there's a flub in this scene.
a flub? I don't think so, Bartek. Because remember, you should know
Okay, here
that
it is.
Aquatic ninjas always.
The thing sank, but red herring are saltwater fish.
And here's Rob Schneider's character. Damn, you guys are done surfing? I'm only just ready to surf now. Which is a problem with all
Right, here's
faced.
the first frictionless ground.
Oh, yeah. Is it...
And it's sand.
And then he gives them really quickly away before the waves.
I like how the dog
dog's like,
goes
"Oh, what's
after him.
this?"
The dog's like, what's happening over there? I better solve this mystery. It's Scooby-Doo. Who knew?
Also, Rob Schneider's character owns a surfboard.
Yeah.
Like,
wants
he's
to
paid
fit
the
in.
money to
really-
buy that surfboard.
Yeah, but he's rich.
No, I'm not saying. It's not a criticism.
His
It's
parents
just
live in a
amazing to think
biodome. They're
that's
pretty
true.
rich.
It's an expensive endeavor.
Okay, here's the first thing that I must make a comment on. That may be a negative comment, but I watched this movie, and the first time I saw Rob Schneider, I'm like, oh, okay, so why is this 30-year-old man hanging out with these teens? And he's supposed to be, what was it, in grade 11? So he's fucking younger than me right now in this film, and I believe that.
Well, you weren't born when this film came out.
No, exactly. So obviously he's still older than me. You got me there.
Obviously, I was.
I'm not sure if you know how time works.
Well, this doesn't say it's set in 1993. The film could be set today. I mean, I wear denim overalls and a tie-dye shirt underneath with a backwards cap.
I haven't seen a single forwards-facing cap.
You
As
won't.
of yet.
Good.
You won't. You won't, except for military hats. And they
Yes.
wear berets mainly in this
And,
film. Because nothing screams Asian more than berets.
That's what it's an Asian word. It's Asian for hat.
I knew.
Isn't it pronounced Barrett?
Beret.
Yep. Who knew?
Snake from Metal Gear Solid was in the Green Berets.
For a second there, I thought that's a different guy with an eye patch.
But it isn't.
It's the same guy.
When he bowed here, I thought that the crack in the window, whatever that was like a spider.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say, like, when he bowed here, the Kraken released itself. I'm like, whoa. I know that he's a powerful ninja, but, like, I like how, why did he, like, okay, you could have just walked through.
At that point, you
the
could have
door.
walked through the gaps
Yeah.
in the door.
So he's the main character's father, like the actor, I mean, in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah,
He's the senior to his junior.
Oh, excellent.
He looks quite young.
A family affair.
Yeah, when I first watched this movie and it showed the opening credits, I thought, why is it showing you that guy's name twice? I didn't see the senior.
And you're like, this
different.
film couldn't have a mistake in it to do something like that.
Well, the
this
red
must be
herring.
on purpose. No,
It
that was
was
on
also a red
purpose.
Yeah, you're right. It was red
Have you-
herring. Red herrings are intentional.
Yes,
Yes.
Leslie Nielsen's character.
It's Leslie Nobunaga.
Oh yes, Leslie Martin. Yeah, Leslie Martin's character is a mad man with technology beyond anything we can comprehend. So maybe he engineered a red herring to survive in that water, Bartek. Give the film some credit. Oh, cooked buns.
Oh,
Oh,
delicious.
I mean, I
And
love.
Captain America.
Was inspired.
in.
Oh
Was
yeah,
inspired by
Captain
this
Captain
shield
Surfboard. No, I mean skateboard. I love. Look,
It's the same choreographer who did that shield fight, who did 300.
I do.
Actually, the
Zack
guy,
Schneider.
this actor here, Senior, he's the one that choreographed the fight scenes in this movie, I believe.
Good for him. He did a good job. I congratulate him. 5 stars.
It's very thrilling.
Yeah, I'm thrilled.
What a backflip.
So Bartek and I obviously never saw this movie before having to do. Oh look, racism. Good. We never had to watch this movie before doing this. So Bartek, what were your thoughts? Did you enjoy it? Did you love it as much as Sam here? Be careful, he is in the room.
Yeah, look, the thing is, I remember that the first movie I ever saw in the cinema was The Little Mermaid. And, you know, I was like 2 or 3 months old when this movie came out, released. Why couldn't Mummy have taken me to this?
I agree. I mean,
Imagine how different your life would have been. Very influential.
Yeah, before I
baby.
could speak, I could already see this movie.
Yeah.
I agree. I obviously was not born yet. It came out like a month before I was born.
But you could have seen it in the womb.
I could have seen. I might have. Who knows?
Listen to it.
Maybe,
Fun fact: my mum saw Aliens with my sister when she was still in the womb, and it made mum really want to have kids.
Excellent.
Because if you watch Alien, that film, Aliens and Alien, their film's really about parenthood.
I think if your mother had seen this, she would have also thought, I really want to have kids, because they could turn out to be
Well, she would have already
princes and ninjas
Ninja princes.
simultaneously.
Yep, but you know, who knows how the future might have gone?
There's still time, Ryan.
Oh.
It's never too late.
Do you want to hear an alien joke?
Sure.
Okay, when the alien came out of John Hurt, what did he say?
Ouch.
Ouch.
He said, "I'm hurt."
Excellent. Excellent. Well, he was.
I actually haven't seen any of the Alien movies.
Well, you should. You know, they're not as good as Surf Ninjas, I will be honest. This inspired Surf Ninjas.
Why are you so?
I mean, this
This inspired Surf
Subtitles are
Ninjas.
this
killing it.
Surf Ninjas inspired itself. Like, when the script was made, they held it into a mirror, and the mirror reflected it, and it just kept reflecting against each other to the point in which a ball of energy emerged from the mirror, and it exploded, and this film came into existence.
You know what I really like about Zachia?
Is that his name?
I think so.
I just
The
keep calling him.
subtitles can't lie, right?
That's the
I keep calling him Zach. Yeah.
yeah.
Zach.
No, it definitely rhymes with patch, because there's
Zach
a Rob Schneider
Patch.
joke where
Rob Schneider makes jokes. I thought he was the
makes a
dramatic
joke
way.
about him being rhyming with patch.
Yeah. This is a good moment too, where like you keep one eye on them and you keep the other eye.
Yeah.
Like he gets really offended. Like I've got one eye.
Yes.
For those who haven't seen the film, Rob Schneider is convinced that he is in fact the prince of
Yeah.
this Asian country.
Yeah, and he is not Asian.
He's not even close to
Well, look, he's
he
closer
has
than I am.
portrayed Asian characters before, like in
8 Crazy Nights.
and Larry.
When
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
yeah, emotional films.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider's an emotional actor.
So just to finish my thought, the thing I like about Zach is that he's acting like he's in a movie that's not Surf Ninjas, and he's constantly having to battle the fact that he is in Surf Ninjas.
Yeah. While we've got this, I just want to remember now. Spoiler alert, this is near the end of the film. Best part of the film that I actually laughed really hard at was Zach gets shot in the shoulder. Like you think he's gonna be dead, and then he's like, "Oh no, I'm fine." He's like, and then Rob Schneider like hits him in his bullet wound, and he's like, He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then Rob Schneider does his Rob Schneider thing. I love Zach seems more personally in pain by Rob Schneider's existence than having
Then
been
the bullet-
shot.
Yeah.
He's like, I can take being shot, but no more Rob Schneider. And I'm like, I feel like that is a criticism that is a valid one with Rob Schneider's career, and that's a good thing because pain is a part of life.
What were you going to say about it?
Oh, a few shots ago, the toothless handsome man hit the gong. That scene gets bookended near the end of the film.
I think it's the
Yes.
exact same shot.
Sorry, that shot, yeah.
Yep. Look, it's okay to use the exact same shots in movies. I mean, many movies do that.
Oh,
like,
I was complimenting it.
Again, it was intentional. It was
Some people might say
it was to remind
lazy-
you of
yeah.
the happy good times
Yeah.
back here in the country that they experienced before the regime of Steve Martin.
Yeah, some people might say it's lazy filmmaking, but hey, I've watched Fight Club and they reuse scenes in that film, so I think this film can do it too.
Yeah, I watched the 60s Addams Family. They did too.
Yeah. Here he is.
Pokemon did it as well.
Pokemon?
That's a pretty old thing you just mentioned right there, unlike what I just said.
Yeah.
So this...
I think Pokemon was the first to do it.
Yeah.
True.
The old Superman serials back in the day? Probably. That's how much...
Onyx
old
totally inspired Lurch. So this setting here has quite a lot of red and white. That was a reference to when we asked the film if it could have some polished colours.
Yeah, I agree. I love how he gets sliced in the eye. Like, that's how he loses his eye. It's very dramatic. It's very dramatic, not Germanic.
Yeah.
But Germans are pretty bloodthirsty. Ask us. The eye loss doesn't slow him down, though. Like,
At all.
He's like, my eye. Fuck it. Like, I'll just keep going. Who cares?
He is such an excellent ninja.
Yeah,
He just looks like he is like some might say, Ryan, that doesn't look like a cut. It just looks like someone smeared ketchup in a line across his face.
Smeared what?
Ketchup.
Ketchup?
Yeah, catsup.
Okay.
Ketchup, Bartek. Jesus.
Ketchum, like Pokemon.
Yeah, Ash Ketchum. Some people might say it's just tomato sauce smeared across his face, and that he still has his eye that you can clearly see, especially when he opens it a lot during the scene. Some people might say that's a goof, Ryan. No, this was intentional. Everything you've seen in this film is intentional. Like, some people might say, Leslie Nielsen, you could easily get up and avoid being stomped.
Leslie Nobunaga.
Yeah, avoid being stomped in the face by an elephant. But maybe he knew that this was his destiny. Because this film is all about destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
We haven't talked about destiny at all.
And trying to avoid your destiny on behalf of some of the characters.
If anything, the main character is like Cubone.
Yes.
Go on.
I think it goes without saying.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
That one explains itself.
Yeah.
That's the end of that conversation. No more. I love that Rob Schneider is like, they're like, we don't want you, like, get away, like, except for the two kids want him, but like Zatch doesn't want him. But later on you have this sexy black cop that's in it later on. Sexiest character in the entire film.
Isaac Hayes?
Yeah, Isaac Hayes. And...
Sorry, all people with black hair look the same.
Wow. Racism brought to you by Bartek. Again, this
Hey,
is
he's got
like...
black hair. It's him, Isaac Hayes.
See, in that shot, his cut looked a little more realistic, and that's sort of to represent that all of this is setting in now. It's all hitting home, and he realizes the destruction of his
But his
own country.
His eye is still
imminent.
there.
Yeah, his eye's still there.
Maybe he got blood in his eye.
In the shot where...
And it got infected.
And it's $1 Million Baby. Who knew? Where's Clint Eastwood in all of this? He's just in the background. Like, he's the one who taught him how to be a great ninja master. He's like, right, let's do this.
Prophecy was just translated into prophesy.
Has Clint Eastwood ever been in a masterpiece?
Unappreciated? No. Appreciated? Yes.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, have you not seen such emotional, heartfelt films as... What's that one where it's like him and a chimp?
Yeah.
Orangutan? It's like Clint Eastwood and an orangutan.
Are you sure you're not thinking of a Matthew Broderick?
No.
He would do a film with an
Clint Eastwood's in this movie where his sidekick is an orangutan. And Bartek, you've mentioned many a times on this podcast that you've watched South Park.
Mm-hmm.
If you know South Park well enough, you remember that there is an entire sequence dedicated to the idea that Clint Eastwood was in a movie with an orangutan, and in South Park, in the sequence, it's what happens if they slept with each other. Because, you know, that's the emotional humour that we don't get in this movie, unfortunately.
South Park did have references to Rob Schneider movies.
Was this one of them?
Yes.
Oh, here he
it
is.
was not. This kind of predates those.
Are you sure?
This actually does predate South Park. This was around the year where Trey Parker and Matt Stone made Cannibal the Musical.
Which is a great film. Check it out.
I actually really love that film.
Check out the audio commentary on that one. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
No, I have not.
The audio commentary is just, which one is it? Like, I think, let's just say Trey Parker, for instance. One of them, like, was getting married, and then his fiance left him for, like, some retail manager. And throughout the whole entire commentary, they're like, yeah, so we wrote this number. It's like, yeah, either way, so she left me. And it's like,
Yeah, they were shitting on it the whole time. And even in South Park,
Yeah, they named-
Cartman's mum, Leanne,
is named
a
after
total slut the whole way through.
Yeah.
And he named her after her. And so, and like in the commentary,
What
he's like,
viciousness.
in the commentary, he's like, yeah, so she's with him now. How is Mike, Leanne? Does he earn millions of dollars each day like me? No, he doesn't.
And
Good luck.
And Leanne was actually in the film.
Yeah.
She choreographed like the second last dance or something.
And he's like, oh, there, look how sloppy
she
it is.
is,
She's
yeah.
like, look how sloppy it is. Fucking mess. But back to this great film. Here he
Yes.
is, sexy black cop. What I was going to say before was, they don't want, like, Zach doesn't want Rob Schneider in the thing. He's like, you're not a part of the destiny, blah, blah, blah. But then this black cop joins them later, and he's like, I feel like, and Zach ends his line by going, it's your destiny. Oh, he's willing to just have random black detective join the group, but Rob Schneider, he's like, I don't like him enough. I want him out. Like, he's no part of this.
I think our protagonist might have braces in a couple of these scenes.
Are you sure? Which one?
Johnny.
Johnny? Oh, this is an emotional scene.
Why is Rob Schneider have a Hitler mustache?
He looks like Screech.
You love Screech. I wrote in my notes that it was Rob Schneider as Scottish crippled Hitler, which is something you don't see.
Rob Schneider is
Scottish crippled Hitler.
from the makers of Deep Doo and Spidabba.
That's a reference to The Simpsons.
Yeah, of course.
Simpsons guy.
Yeah.
American Simpsons guy.
Yeah.
Funny joke.
Located
Flintstones,
in
yep.
America.
The Jetsons.
United States.
Okay, this is the best part about this film. Some films like this one, they just have to keep going. You know what I mean? Like the pace never stops. Like it just one trouble upon the next, next, trouble all the time, running around, ninja, fight, blah, 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 witty lines. But sometimes you need a scene like this in which it's just calm, relaxed. They're talking about like their emotional problems, and it's good that you only have one of these in the film.
Give your audience some time to breathe.
Yeah, only once. They can only need to breathe once because
Yes.
this scene only is in one moment of the film, and then there are no other scenes like this. So appreciate
I feel
this.
like there maybe are some scenes where we get that breathing room again.
Guys, look, boobs!
Boob, no, it was more butt. Get it correct, Bartek. I love.
Bartek is a butt guy. He's an ass man.
Yep, I think Bartek really is.
Yeah, but thankfully I don't smell like ass.
Anymore. Not since.
Oh, here it is. The Sega not Game Boy.
Okay, Sam, so when you pitched this movie to me, which I think you should do to everyone here, you tried to sell me with, Ryan, one of the characters is like, he's a seer, but instead of using the usual seer stuff, he sees it through his Sega Game Boy. Like, that was,
Game-y.
yeah, his game thing. You were like, it's really ingenious how they came up with a different way for him to see the future. I'm
mean,
like, that's something that you were really proud of the movie for.
We've all seen, the wide-eyed, visions of the future, or having the future told to you in a dream. But I thought it was such a clear way to show the audience his ability to see the future in a way that resonates with its audience. 1993,
Yeah.
portable handheld gaming system. You couldn't have thought of a better way, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm sure it sold some units too.
It probably did, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have the numbers on me.
Now, Bartek, I think it's time to do something a bit different.
You gonna propose?
Will you marry me?
No, you got a girlfriend. She's in the other room.
Yeah.
Oh shit, did I get real?
Real talk. Real talk. Shut it. Oh, no, I was going to say, since Sam is the one that pitched this to us, I would like for Bartek and I to be Hollywood executives. And Sam, could you please... now pretend this film has yet to exist. You're the one who's created this film. Like, this is your creation, but it is yet to be made. We are the guys, the Hollywood executives you have to pitch to. Pitch this movie as heartfeltly as you can to us.
Yeah, we're listening, Bob.
Yeah, thanks.
Surf Ninjas is a film about, first and foremost, about brotherhood, and maintaining and saving that relationship, and what can hinge on that relationship can even be the fate of a nation.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really important.
Your voice changed.
That's at the heart of the story. Despite all the action and the explosions that are going to bring people into the cinema, the heart of this story is about these brothers and what they can they can do for each other.
Okay, so what happens in the film though? Like, you know, we're all about brothers. I mean, us two here, we're brothers. We own this film company together.
Yes, Mr. Warner, I imagine.
Yeah.
The Warner Brothers were Polish. Fun fact. They actually were.
Good for us. We're Polish. Let's keep going. So what's the plot? Tell us the nitty gritty.
Two brothers living in Los Angeles, which is in California.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Discover
A shot later will disprove that.
They are in fact the royalty of a small Asian nation.
Oh yes,
and
Indonesia.
They discover this, and they have to travel back to this nation to overthrow an oppressive regime and discover their true history and ability.
Okay, that sounds like a really poignant thing. You know who I think we could get on this?
Rob Schneider.
No, I was thinking, you know who did a really good film recently? Steven Spielberg. I think if we give this to that guy, he could really make a masterpiece. Now, is it supposed to be a dramatic piece?
It's really everything. It's got dramatic, heart-filled moments, and then it makes you laugh. There are times when you're just like, excellent, and it's definitely a relatable film. But yes, there's certainly moments that may make you shed a tear.
Okay, so there's comedy in there. That's good. We after Spielberg's last film, Schindler's List, we really
or the long-awaited parody, Schindler's Fist.
Schindler's List. We really need an upbeat film from that guy. Yeah. That guy's getting a little bit depressive. So some comedy elements. So you got a comedic sidekick, I imagine, in this film. Who would you think is a good comedic sidekick? I'm thinking
Adam Sandler.
No. He's a bit old now. I'm thinking
too famous.
I'm thinking Keanu Reeves.
Oh, like in Speed, he was funny there.
He was very funny.
Comedy like Keanu.
Keanu's a funny name. If you put
sold.
If you put it on a title, there it is. Do you think we can get him? Do you think we can get Keanu?
Let's get Rob Schneider.
Nah, let's get Rob. He's not doing much. I think Keanu's a bit too busy with the Bill and Ted movies.
I think
we better get Rob Schneider on the phone. Hey Rob, do you want to be in a movie? Yeah. Okay.
He's absolutely available.
So
he stopped being a character.
Yeah.
So villain.
Like a character.
We've got to talk about villains because with movies, people love us a villain. You want a dictator, an oppressive kind of figure. Who's somebody that can be an oppressive kind of figure? We can't get Ronald Reagan, he's president.
Oda Nobunaga.
Of course.
Screw that, Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen. No, we can't get him. Steve Martin. All right, Steve Martin. Make sure you phone Steve Martin's people. No, yeah. So how do you spell? You spell Steve with an Leslie.
Sharpening.
Nielsen.
Turkey.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was a joke I found genuinely amusing. Yeah, so we made the film. Here it is, everybody. Warner Brothers presents Surf Ninjas with Keanu Reeves, directed by Steven Spielberg. Also with freaking, let's have Bill Cosby as the dad. Why not?
So I wasn't joking earlier when I said
I think you were.
The disproving the fact that it's in LA, because there's going to be a not Indiana Jones, transition where the ship is going across the ocean. And I believe the starting point of the ship is in the completely wrong place.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I think you're wrong.
We'll wait till we get there, I guess.
I like the foreshadowing setup here. It's like, oh no, water is his weak. Don't get him wet.
He's too bad.
When he's literally surrounded by
water.
Yeah.
And I think that's also symbolism for, succumbing to your own vices and weaknesses. He knows his weakness is water, but he can't help himself.
Yeah.
He can't help but put himself.
Well, what is the human body if not 70% water?
Oh, this is a good joke. This is a good joke. I love this, where he's like on the phone, he's like, kill them. Oh, I've got another phone call. Yes, what is it? Yes, kill them all. I got to get back. Wait. Yes, kill them. Kill them all.
He's a busy man. There's more than one group of people that he needs dead.
He's busy torturing people. Like, what else has he got to do?
From a production standpoint, what do you think his mask is made of?
I think
polyurethane.
I was going to say Play-Doh.
No. Okay. I think it's either a polyurethane or some sort of foam latex.
Okay. I like how they go to the Imperial Palace.
I do love that we shall go to our people who all own a Chinese
The
restaurant.
interesting thing also is Rob Schneider returns to this exact imperial palace for a film called Big Stan, in which he
South Park.
is going to prison, and he goes to this exact exterior set again.
So, is this a connected universe? Like, is that Iggy in that film? Or is he Stan?
There's absolutely... Look, his name is clearly Stan. But who's to say that Iggy isn't a nickname? There's absolutely no confirmed
name
thing
for
to
Iggy.
say that it's not the exact same character.
Gumby was awesome because I could barely understand most of what he said. And in between this scene that you just saw then and this one, he had a big mustache.
Yeah.
And in this one, he barely has a mustache at all.
At all.
Like, in one of the scenes later on, I think it's like when they're outside after all the fighting's happened, he barely has a mustache.
That's because in this scene he's got a little bit of a dad stash going on.
Yeah, and then in the next
And he's
one,
revealing
like,
that he's a father.
I'm not a dad. I love what's the girl. The girl. There's always a girl in these
Yeah.
films.
Oh,
She.
and what a girl.
We're okay. Do you think that she's attractive?
Okay.
Well,
we do. Raggy.
we've already made a thing on the podcast that eventually we're going to do the live action Scooby Doo movies, but in like 3 years time.
I would love to be there for that.
You enjoyed Scooby Doo 2.
I really shine best in Scooby Doo 1.
No.
Who else were you going to get for Scooby Doo 1?
I don't know.
Why not?
My pet cat.
Why not you?
Scooby Doo himself.
I was going to get Freddie Prinze
See, look,
Jr.
and his
He's not,
mustache is definitely
not there.
shorter.
What I was going to say was, do you think the girl is attractive in any way? Because when they reveal her face, my actual reaction last night was,
There's a scene later on where you can see...
I know that she's young, but they're supposed to be
we're
like,
about to see it here.
you're supposed to be like, oh, she's pretty, but I looked at her and went,
But even so, even if you don't think, if you personally don't think the actress is that pretty, we're convinced of her beauty by Johnny's reaction to seeing her.
Yeah.
Because he's all like, oh, this girl's going to be my wife. This is, you know, my bride to be. And he's just kind of like, whatever. And then when we see this woman's face, that's when
she has nice arms.
you're convinced, as an audience member, you believe that he finds her that beautiful.
Yep, I guess you could convince yourself of that.
I was going to say later in the...
Wow.
Whoa! Whoa!
Just
love
to
it.
clear, the subtitle said UAUU exclamation mark.
Like, look at her. She's okay.
I was going to say...
I think Rob Schneider's better.
That's true, yeah. Later on, her hair looks nice. And that's... Yeah.
I think she's
There's
pretty.
a girl.
I think she's very good looking.
There's a girl in my high school
Maybe
who
you're
all
just
the
not
boys.
into Asian chicks, right?
No, I'm into all women. Not all. Evidently not her.
That didn't sound all that convincing.
I don't know.
How many Asian chicks
Ryan
have
was
you
talking about
dated?
something about school.
Well, I didn't get
done
a chance
anything with.
because my town didn't have that many Asian women. It had Asian guys.
But then
in
you
my
came
high
to Burwood.
Yeah, but I already had a
You
girlfriend,
didn't-
so
At-
I'm
when
sorry,
you
Sam. I'm not like
first-
you.
When
When
you first came to Burwood?
pretty soon, like I met my girlfriend like on the second day of O week.
Yeah, look, you had that whole first day.
Look, I'm
With
not
an
like
absolute
you,
buffet
where
of-
I'm just gonna start fisting everyone as soon as I get into O week. Jeez.
Well, I am an ass man.
Oh no, I was gonna say was we were saying like she's pretty enough. Like Bartek has this comment like she has nice hair later. There's this girl in my high school who, for the life of me, I could never figure out. She was like the one that all the guys fawned over for no reason when there was more attractive girls, and I mean like conventionally attractive and otherwise attractive. But this girl was like the most plain Jane. And the only thing like I've talked to other girls about this girl. I'm like, okay, maybe I.
Lois.
Nah, she was
She
too
obviously
No, she was
blew
too
dudes.
prudish. That's the thing. People
She
were
did butt
drawn
stuff.
to her because she never really did anything also, so that means, oh, maybe I can crack it. But physically wise, I had conversations with a lot of girls in my year because I was friends with a lot of girls as well as guys, and I just be like, hey, real talk, what's attractive about her? Like, I'm a straight guy, I can't figure it out, and they're like, I don't know, Ryan. We've been trying to figure that out since day one. I'm like, and in the end, she has nice hair. Just like the actress in this movie. Maybe
The nice hair thing.
He just chucked the seafood into a guy's fencing mask.
At first he called it an octopus, but then he said, eat squid.
Yeah. I like the guy couldn't remove the squid, but the kid could easily grab it. Oh, here
And
it
this
is.
is a really
Magic.
powerful moment. This is where he discovers
Rob Schneider discovers that he's not
his
the king
ability.
yet.
Yeah.
Or,
No, it's where Johnny discovers his inherent, muscle memory, martial arts ability.
yeah,
I think the actor does a really good job at selling us that he had no idea that he could do any of
except
this.
for when you see him with his shirt off, he is fucking ripped.
Same.
There's gonna be a ninja.
Yeah, ripped.
There's gonna be a ninja pretty soon. That
Ripped like a
doesn't-
roast pork. Yeah.
He doesn't stay down, and then he tries to crawl away.
I love the ninjas attacking him. Like, you see, they attack him and they get hit and then they just like roll away. Like, they're like, okay,
To clear out more space for other ninjas.
It's like, my fighting is done. I tried my best.
Well, like I just said, one of them straight up is like halfway through getting up after he gets hit.
Yeah.
I hope we haven't passed it. I think we have.
yes.
Oh, look at this guy. He's like, oh no.
For a second there, it looked like
He was
he was
getting
absolutely
butt raped.
humping this guy.
He did. I was gonna make a joke, but I missed it. But you didn't.
Yeah, no.
Sam doesn't miss the butt stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
This guy.
Yeah, look
see?
at him. He rolls away.
No, he straight up gets up.
He,
Look, this guy rolls away.
maybe he comes back.
He wasn't even hit.
No, Sam. They don't come back. It's like, my chance is over. Like, if it's a
If
video
you couldn't
game, they
beat
only
him
had
then
one
and
life.
there, yeah, exactly.
They only had one life.
You
so
can't have
it's
too many
over.
sprites on the screen at once.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Chopsticks. Like, okay, let's make this more racially sensitive. Let's go. Let's have a
Karate Kid-
chopstick fight.
The Karate Kid was inspired by this bit.
I agree. Lots of things were inspired by this bit. Did you know this is the best film ever made? Did you know that?
I would say yes.
Citizen Kane has nothing on this film.
Citizen Kane was ruined by my uni lecturer anyway. So
Why? By saying it was the best film outside of
we had a
Surf
whole,
Ninjas
whole,
and Big Fat Liar
We had a
and Kangaroo
whole
Jack.
semester where he did nothing but show us the scenes of Citizen Kane outside of chronological order. For every example he wanted to use.
Are
he
you,
used
are you
Citizen
sure?
Kane.
Because Citizen Kane doesn't stick to just a linear storytelling fashion.
Well, I wouldn't know because
Well, you could
I've
watch
not
it.
seen the film.
Yet he
in its-
studied film
in its-
Awesome.
I've not seen it in its
entirely.
continuous entirety. I've only seen.
You also haven't seen No Country for Old Men.
I have seen No Country for Old
Now
Men.
you have.
Yeah, I saw that at university as well.
Oh, but in outside of chronological order,
Yeah,
wasn't
but I was able to watch it again.
it? Oh,
I
but you
could
didn't
not-
do that with Citizen Kane.
could not
one of the,
do it for Citizen
One of the shittest
We
movies ever made.
We spent one lesson on No Country for Old Men. We spent an entire semester on stuff that wasn't meant to be
Was this
Citizen
Simon?
Kane, and he just used. No, it wasn't Simon. It was I forget the guy's name. He looked like that therapist who falls in love with his 16-year-old patient and kills her friends.
In life or in,
life.
movies?
In both.
Obviously, I had
one's
the
inspired by the
film.
other.
Sam and I probably I had Simon, who was a film lecturer at our university, and he just
Yeah.
kept playing Broken Flowers with Bill Murray.
He
and
loves Broken
but he kept playing the opening scene like 16 times, so I know that opening sequence pretty well. And I've never watched Broken Flowers because I don't know. I like my Bill Murray funny. That's just my preference. Look,
So you were talking about Citizen Kane before. Did you know that there was an actual interview with Orson Welles where they said, "So Orson, Citizen Kane, how was that?" And his literal response to that was, "I wish I made Surf Ninjas."
Oh, it would have been a very different film had Orson Welles tackled.
it would have been
Surf Ninjas.
less.
And look, I don't know if he would have been the right person to do it. I think we were discussing earlier, before this podcast started, about the hope for a long-awaited sequel to Surf Ninjas.
With Rob Schneider
With Rob
reprising his role as Iggy.
Absolutely, I
And
think
is-
Rob Schneider would be the aged, perhaps the aged, wise Iggy, who then tells a new set of brothers that they are perhaps
Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas. And we discussed the only man who could probably direct this reprisal is Michael Bay.
Michael, there is a scene in this where there's a lot of explosions that I did write. Did Michael Bay do this sequence? Because I don't know what he was doing at that time. It was before The Rock, definitely.
It certainly was.
Before Bad Boys.
So earlier in this episode, I made a cheeky joke that this is Isaac Hayes.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And in the shot where he was in the car and he saw them driving by, the subtitle said, "Hello, children."
Yeah, no.
Did he say that?
Yes, well, the subtitles said so.
He did actually say that. I wrote that down. My favorite bit is that they're driving in a car and he pulls up in his car and he just looks at them and I'm like, is he in a van? I wasn't quite sure because, it was a bit mysterious in the dark. Oh, I love how sexy he is. He's "Good night, Lieutenant," and he's just
Good night,
"Good
sweetheart."
night."
Well, his voice is
sweetheart."
just like that, isn't it?
Isaac Hayes? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, tone
don't
Isaac Hayes low.
I don't think he's putting that voice on.
No, I think it's his real voice. I that's probably why they hired him.
I
They're
think
like, get me the sexiest voice outside of Samuel L. Jackson.
I think he played...
Because he's a bit busy right now.
He played an animal in Fern Gully.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I didn't know.
His voice would be...
He's like an iguana or something. Or goanna.
There's, this...
Look at that piece of ship.
So, is that the ship that you think is going the wrong way?
Oh, no, it's when they show the map and they have a Monopoly
Yeah,
ship.
and the only montage in the film. Fun fact, there's only 1 or 2 montages in this film. Unlike the previous episode we did where there was 15.
Yes.
Can't get over it.
Well, this...
Here it is.
Yeah, here it is.
No, it's on the...
No, it was on the right side, the East Coast. That's where, New York and all that is.
Yeah, but no, they were they were coming from another country.
Also, you got to think that if it's different maps coming from different places put different continents in the center.
Really?
Yeah, so a map from Asia, obviously the countries and continents are the same in relation to each other, but in regards to which is in the center of the map depends on where you got the map from. So if this is a map from their country, their home country, it's fair to say that it could be because of that.
So it was an inaccurate map?
Not an inaccurate map, but if you think of what is in the middle of the world is a matter of, and when I say middle, I don't mean the equator, but vertically is a matter of perspective.
I'm a bit confused because I'm straight up saying that their ship was where they weren't.
Sam's giving you an educational lesson here, Bartek. Listen up.
I'm not saying it's an inaccurate map. I'm saying perhaps the map it's different to what you're normally seeing.
It is.
Yeah, but I don't see how that's relevant to...
Did we see the east coast of America on the map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well then
They were on the right side. Look, California's on the left side of America. The ship was on the right side of America, and then it was crossing underneath to the left.
Through Mexico, which apparently has the ability
Yeah,
to
if
have
they were
ship go through.
If they were really in California, then the ship wouldn't have passed Mexico. But this film brings up... You see, this film brings up debate. Geographical debate.
Yeah.
And makes me debate with myself a lot.
It's...
When I saw the chick, I debated.
Obviously, the country in which they're living in is also...
Not really.
Made up for the purpose of the film.
I thought this is a true story.
It definitely... inspired by. They don't want to get into a legal battle. By naming particular films
people are still
royalty.
sensitive about Vietnam. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's clear which particular Asian countries seem to inspire this false Asian country here.
Yeah, when I watched this film, I was convinced oh, okay, it's some island off Japan or something. But no, it was in the middle of Papua New Guinea and Indonesia.
Yeah, and the more you look at it, you're it's clearly
about Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually filmed in Thailand apparently, but
which I feel like you can tell. They definitely bring that flavor across.
What a flavor!
I can't see any Thai restaurants in this shot. But
I can't see any ping pong balls shooting out.
Is ping pong popular in Thailand?
Yes. I believe it's the national sport.
You're so innocent.
Yeah.
Stay that way, Bartek.
Yeah.
Never fade away.
Never seen a vagina.
But ping pong is... Ping pong is such a African name, so
Racism brought to you by Bartek
See,
once again.
this is what Bartek. This scene, I guess, may have been what Bartek was referring to earlier with the girl's hair. The girl's hair being down definitely adds to
Yeah,
her
the
beauty.
yeah,
And
I
there's that
agree.
sort of, it's definitely
Yeah.
more a casual look than we
Yeah.
saw her before.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm sorry
Oh.
guys, we just missed
The knife.
what is undoubtedly the
Funny.
best line in the film,
Which
which is Rob Schneider saying, "Money can't buy knives." The wise old man with the eye patch said, "Oh, we're going to find something that money can't buy. These special knives, these mystic knives." And Rob Schneider then goes on an excellent rant about
That the black guy
you know what?
joins.
Money can't buy knives.
No, the
You
black
go to
guy
any
joins.
store and say, "Hey, can I get some knives?" And they'll be like, "No, sorry, dude. Don't you know money can't buy knives?"
Yeah.
And it's
There's only a few
it's
of them
by
around.
far
The funniest.
the funniest part about the film, but also maybe the best delivery by Rob Schneider ever seen.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I like that the black guy joined in at the
Yeah,
end.
he
He's like,
also
I would
gives him
join
a-
in, but like, he's like, I would cut down this tree, but I don't have a knife.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
the
god.
subtitle said, "I'd cut him, but I knife."
Yeah.
Okay, can I say something? Where did the cop get a change of clothes?
On the ship.
On the ship, yeah.
From
clearly.
who has the same size outfit as him? And also, I love how he has
What are
this
you trying to
scarf.
say? He's
Got it from person A.
He's
Yeah.
a very tall guy. I love he's got this magical scarf that I thought, oh, okay. Sam, you've seen the movie before, so
Yes.
you might laugh at me, but I was watching him like, okay, he's got this scarf. He's going to use that in a fight scene, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
going to wrap it around someone's foot and pull him out. No, it's just there for aesthetic value, and I'm very glad because, must I say, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good
in
look for
that
him.
scarf. Like,
somebody, obviously looked at him with the clothes and said, "Man, he could really benefit from a scarf."
yeah, I agree. They went, this guy needs a scarf, like a very feminine scarf, because he's a very masculine guy.
Man,
we need a bit
we need
of
to
the...
offset that. We don't want him to come across as too macho or have any sort of representation of toxic masculinity. with these characters.
Because he's not a surfer.
No, he's not. He's not one of the surfer. He's
Might-
not one of the ninjas. That's
Might
also
I
a surfer.
add, I know, skipping ahead, spoiler, you said the knife thing was the best bit in the film, funny wise. Nope. Nope. I lost my shit. I was on the ground in tears when the black guy was like,
I think I know
brother.
Yes.
The black guy's like, brothers don't surf.
I
It's like-
still rate the knife thing so funny. Because it's one of those things, in 1993, when I was 3 years old, watching the film, you don't find that particular conversation all that funny. And definitely the brothers don't surf thing goes over your
Why
head
is
too.
that?
But
Why
it's
is that
one
a
of-
thing? It
it's
goes
one
over
of
my
the-
head now because I'm like, I didn't know that was a stereotype
Yeah.
of black people. Like, I didn't know black
Yeah,
people
I think
don't
I
surf.
think maybe it comes also from the stereotype of their lackluster swimming ability. But
I didn't know that either. What?
But-
This is something I'm unaware of.
Definitely, that's the great thing about this film too. You come back to it, later with an adult's eyes and an adult's understanding of the world.
Yeah.
And some of these little lines that skipped you as a child just become
The best.
the best.
Although with us talking about spoilers,
Spirit will penetrate
we missed the bit where Rob Schneider revealed that his cousin got lost in a cave once.
Yeah, what was that about? I thought it was going to be revealed that he's in this cave.
Rob Schneider, and he was the prince all along.
And I thought the guy was going to be played by Adam Sandler.
That would have been perfect.
We also haven't acknowledged
I can make a better movie than anyone in Hollywood.
This is pre-Rob Schneider, Adam Sandler.
we
No, is it?
friendship. It's before they were in films together.
No, not really.
It was a few years before
Because they
Big
were
Daddy.
both on Saturday Night Live at this time.
Yeah, but they weren't in films together.
We have to
They
check.
weren't doing what's the earliest Adam Sandler film you can? What's a pre-1993 Adam Sandler film?
The one I can think of, I think it is
Got it.
1993 or 1992, is called Airheads, where it's Adam Sandler, Brendan Fraser, and Steve
they're in a
Buscemi.
rock band. Is
Yeah,
Rob
and
Schneider in that?
I don't know, but I feel like he would be in there.
You can't just assume he is.
Well, you look it
Because
up,
even
mister. I'm
he-
grabbing my phone out during Ryan talking about emotional stuff like Adam Sandler should have been the cousins.
Someone was calling me.
It was your friends
The
telling you to shut
the earliest film I can think of is Big Daddy with them.
Yeah, I think Rob Schneider's definitely not Billy Madison.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
I
I've
haven't
seen
watched
Billy
Billy
Madison.
Madison in, like, 8
I've seen
years.
that movie a million times. He's not in it.
Yeah.
I thought he was a penguin.
Herod from Jesus Christ Superstar
There's no
is
way to
in that
tell.
movie.
What?
There's no way to tell if Rob Schneider is the penguin. And
How can you not? Have you not seen his physique?
he's in a suit though. You
The
can't.
penguin was
confirm it.
fat. Isn't Rob Schneider really
Oh no, I
skinny?
thought they just painted him.
No.
It looked like a penguin.
It was a penguin suit.
I know. I think it's just...
Rob Schneider doesn't look like a penguin suit. This sword.
No, he
it's
looks.
magical.
Okay, have you seen Over the Hedge?
I have not.
Okay, have you seen it? Okay.
Is Rob Schneider in that?
No. Well, I was gonna say Steve Carell is. In Over the Hedge,
They're
there's
not
a
the same
character who's a turtle.
Yes. Same.
Have you seen the animation at all? Like, have you seen anything like what it
Oh,
looks
look,
like?
I might have seen a trailer.
Okay,
or
so
something.
in Over the Hedge, there's a turtle, and it looks like Rob Schneider. That's all I'm saying is there's a turtle in Over the Hedge that for me looks like Rob Schneider.
So
Is it as good as Big Daddy?
Rob Schneider
Did I
must
say
have
that?
been in.
Did I say that or was that you just mispronouncing it? Because I'm like
mispronouncing it.
you. Oh,
Yeah.
good. Enough jokes at my expense.
See, I think the leading lady looks hot. in this-
Yeah,
in
the
these
more you
scenes.
cover her face up, the hotter she gets.
Oh,
I agree.
God, rough guts.
Hey, that's what they were saying
And
at
she's
the
got a-
beginning.
she's
Remember,
got a good-
you missed
a
that
good
sequence
bod
of good
too.
jokes.
So yeah, we're coming up to the next frictionless ground scene.
Oh yeah.
Friction.
I love it. You're reminding me so
Indeed.
much. Oh yeah.
I would like to point out that Hatch's
Zatch, yeah.
his wristbands don't seem to fit his wrists.
Really?
No, they got to show his wrist tattoos.
His wrists are too large.
Oh, you can see a bit of his scar. I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no. It's,
Oh, yeah, no,
it's
this
very
is-
subtle. It's
Yeah.
subtle,
Very detailed.
and it's to remind you, like this is him, reliving the horrors of those events.
We haven't discussed Rob Schneider's magic in this.
I was going to, but then you guys were talking about something.
We were talking about shut it. Look, okay, here it is. Why has Rob Schneider got magic powers in this, or is this just like random?
Frictionless.
Yeah, frictionless ground.
yeah.
I love what if his what if power. Like,
Yeah.
what if one of us falls and it happens? Somebody wrote that.
Yeah.
Like
He
somebody
lost
wrote-
his gun. That's important.
He lost
Yes.
his gun, which
Yeah.
is important. I do love how he does use his badge. Like, he's like, I'm a cop. And the guys, are, like, they don't
You're
do
in a
anything.
foreign country. Like, where, in what
I love-
world was
he
that gonna
doesn't
work?
do anything straight away. Like, he's like, the guys, they're like, I'm a cop. And they're just like, oh, okay. Like, they don't do anything for a second. And then
Yeah.
they, like, go, okay, get up. Like,
Then
you're
they
going to
remember
come
we
with
don't
us.
care that you're a cop.
Like, look at this. He's like, yeah, I'm a cop. You are arrested.
It is a shame that his gun doesn't come back, but it's true. Saltwater fish can't survive
Yeah.
outside. That's a callback to the red herring joke,
Yeah.
Thanks, Bartek.
which I came up with last night. I'm so happy you guys liked it.
I was in hysterics. The memory of it is fading slowly the more you bring it up.
So
shut
yeah,
up.
his what if powers are what inspired the
Shazam.
PlayStation 1 Spider-Man games with what if mode,
Yeah.
which
Oh my
mostly
God,
which
yeah.
mostly just put bananas in places.
Yeah.
I forgot about
What
that
if?
game.
And obviously it also inspired the very popular Marvel comic books What If series, where they say, what if this would happen, and they would do a whole comic on it.
Yeah. I like how he just throws Rob Schneider and he laughs like, ha ha ha,
He
Rob Schneider
enjoys,
could have been
yeah.
seriously injured. Like, there's sticks in there.
Well,
he could have
no.
got a punctured lung.
But
Oh,
they're,
absolutely.
But they're frictionless, so he'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
slide
he'll
off
just
them.
slide
If there was
off.
friction, he could have gotten a cut.
Yeah.
But, okay, look, she's okay.
She's pretty. Get off her back, man.
She's pretty in the same way that Jodie Foster is pretty.
No way. Jodie Foster looks like a branch. She looks like a
Okay,
wet
the
sock
one,
filled with
okay,
meat.
the one, whoa.
A tan coloured
No,
sock,
that's
obviously.
mean. Jodie Foster's attractive in Taxi Driver, but admittedly she is playing a prostitute in that. So
It's
There was a woman in Taxi Driver. I can't remember any women.
there's lots of women in Taxi Driver.
Oh yeah, there were prostitutes.
like-
yeah.
These guys genuinely believed they were going to bang like this.
Yeah!
There was going to be a gangbang in the frictionless forest,
I wanted
which
to-
is the best place to
Okay.
have.
You say gangbang, but I think it would have been a
Gang
friendly orgy.
Yeah, okay. I wrote that down. Like, were they gonna gangbang? Like,
was
and I
gonna-
went. Okay, I went
and look,
after this movie. I looked at the
I want
trivia
to
and I thought
defend
it.
these guys. first of all, she made it seem as if it was going to be consensual
gangbang.
gangbang,
Yeah.
which
That's what
of
made it
course
worse.
is the only reason they're interested. If she didn't seem into it, I'm sure they wouldn't have followed.
They would have just shot her. Yeah. That's what made it worse for me. It's like, okay, it would have been weird if this film took a rape angle suddenly, but it was weird that they took a consensual gangbang.
I don't think it is weird, Ryan, because I think this is the kind of forward. I think this is a forward-thinking film that says, "Hey, why can't a young, attractive girl own her sexuality and just have sex with 4 soldiers at once?
4, 5, 6 armed soldiers. Yeah. I love.
So what would be the alternative? She goes up and says, "Hey, fuck me."
Yeah, look, they can't, they've got to apply some subtlety to it. She can't just be like, hey,
all 4 of you, fuck me in the bush.
Stick it in me, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, all at once.
It might have made more sense if she did.
No, I went too far.
She certainly would have bought them more time if she genuinely had sex with them.
If this was like a Patrick Verhoeven movie, then yeah, but it isn't. This is what I don't get. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the trivia and find out what she actually said to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything. Like, it doesn't tell me
it
that.
doesn't have the tie.
No, it doesn't say
No,
what
not
she
tie.
said.
Well, that's to be fair.
I wanted it
Is
to
it a
be... I feel like no. I think
it
she was
wouldn't be
speaking
in Thai because it would be in a false Asian language, wouldn't it?
No, I think she was generally saying words. Like, they sound like real Asian words, but I just want to know. I want to know what she said. Somebody look it up for us. I only looked on IMDb. I didn't have the chance, so maybe.
I think it might be out there somewhere.
Somebody's like translated it into.
Here's Rob Schneider.
Fuck me in the bush. Yeah.
Actually, that inspired both Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy with their Xavier putting the 2 fingers to the head.
Yeah, I thought that, and The Matrix, nothing in comparison to this when it came to fighting scenes. Like, look at this. Look at her go. Her hair. She wouldn't have been in much trouble if she tied her hair back. Oh my god, guys.
You always have been a victim.
We haven't acknowledged
Ryan, that. And this is no exception. She would have been fine with her hair, like...
out in her face.
Her hair didn't get her into trouble there. The reason she was fighting people. That's why she was like almost like...
She was in her hair. Like how the maid...
Her hair had nothing to do with
Her
it.
hair did.
We haven't really acknowledged that the kid's motivation is he really wants to drive.
Yeah, what's that about? He's like, the man won't let me. He's like, oh my god, to get down,
I live in
man.
the USA and I've got another maybe like
10 years.
4 years, because remember they drive when they're like 16.
Yeah.
Before I can dangerously surf a Jeep.
Yeah. This is like...
Oh, well, he's not even... Wait, no, earlier in the film he said that he's almost 60.
Guys, that got me laughing in hysterics. He's like, throw dynamite, and he hits one in the eye.
And it doesn't explode.
No, because he
they
didn't light
the
it.
dynamite, they just threw it.
Okay, can we stop for a moment and just witness this scene here? Because
this is interesting,
what is this supposed to be?
Well, if you have cigarettes, then you can get fire.
Maybe you should put it on your patch. Look who I'm talking. What?
Yeah,
because he's got an eye patch.
Wall.
Why?
The patch, the smoke.
He's got an eye patch.
Yeah, but I just love, why did that sequence happen at all? They're like, okay, it's a film in which they're willing to show Playboy magazine and be like, yeah, titties, but smoking. Nah.
No, that's good. They took it was a subtle anti-smoking
subtle
stance. And especially when
subtle.
Children are watching this
subtle.
Yeah, they were
Subtle.
Sam, do you smoke?
They weren't. I don't smoke.
See, because he grew up with this film.
Yeah, it's
don't make the same mistake I did.
Yeah,
that's what Pat.
It's like I have one eye and I'm a smoker, and so you're like,
I smoke out of my eye hole,
like,
and that's why my
so
eyes are.
As a child, you go, I would like to keep both my eyes. And you don't smoke cigarettes.
Oh.
Don't smoke, people.
It's bad. Wear the patch.
So this is the stretch of the film where you don't really see Leslie Nobunaga.
This is another part of the film. What I was saying, you were saying that they don't slow down again. I feel like this is another time where the audience gets to take a little bit of a breath.
Yeah, as you look at his tie-dye headband.
Yeah, no, but they're preparing for this battle that they know they're going to have. But for now, they've escaped.
Yeah,
they're no longer in immediate threat. And yeah, the tie-dye bandana is obviously
emotional.
I
like how Rob Schneider gets one. Like, he's like, I am king. Like, give me one.
Prince, yeah.
No, he's convinced that he's going to be the king.
Yeah, but he's convinced that he's currently the prince.
Yeah, but many times in the film, he's like, I am your king.
because
he forgets
he's
what
gonna,
he is.
Yeah, he's a bit of a contradiction. Yeah, dudes. Oh, that's.
Cowabunga.
Can we have not mentioned the 90s slang. Now, Bartek and I aren't as fluent in it as you would be, Sam, because, we
Because
did...
of that extra 3 years.
Yeah, that extra 3... No, really, that does help, because you would have been... Yeah, you would have been like 9 years old in 1999, so you would have had 9 years of being able to use slang, while we only had like 6, and 6 isn't
And I focused on
appropriate, so-
Polish a lot.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so
true.
did you use such phrases as bitchin' or pumpin' or psych?
I think
I reckon you would have been a psych.
Psych was definitely big. I think bitching and pumping was probably before my age. I was probably not old enough to really use bitching because I would have gotten in trouble for saying
Bart
bitch.
Simpson used to say it on The Simpsons.
Yeah, and I was no Bart Simpson.
What? I thought you were hardcore.
No.
No, he was lame.
I am Cinemax. I'm softcore at best.
Yeah, he hasn't even seen Citizen Kane properly.
He's no Stan Marsh.
Stan Darsh.
Big Stan.
Oh, jeez, bro, you just owned him.
Oh.
Trey Parker calling you out.
Wrecked.
More like Trey Darker.
See, these guys are gonna
Talk.
start surfing their jeeps.
So when I was watching this yesterday,
Oh, her headband's fucking terrible.
Kwanzaa.
Go on, Bartek.
yeah, when I was watching this scene yesterday, I was just imagining how fun this would have been to film.
This is their breather. This is.
No, it isn't.
But they were like dancing and
The
like
biggest
waving
problem they have
flags.
is like the buffalo. How are we gonna bring all these buffalo with us?
Oh, here's something. Okay. When I watch the sequence, I'm like, oh, why is she walking with the parasol into the woods, into the forest? Is she going to get kidnapped? But thank God this film took the appropriate approach, which is he's just peeling bananas. He sees her and chucks it away instantly.
This is
He's
also that's one of the things that really tips you off to the film being filmed in Thailand is the size of the bananas are quite small.
Yeah, piss week.
That's the size bananas are in Thailand.
So-
I don't know if
so
you've
we
ever
know
been to
that-
Thailand.
Yes.
No, I have not.
But I have, and those are the size of the bananas.
How was
and it's
Thailand?
because
Did you get a ping pong ball?
they're more aimed for monkeys than people. The
People are monkeys.
Yeah, well, this is what we've learned. This island has monkeys, bananas, and buffalo.
yeah.
There was a monkey earlier in this film, and
Yeah,
his
no.
name is Rob Schneider. Yeah, I agree. I think her headband is the
that girl is-
worst.
I don't know what your beef with this girl.
I think she's an Asian Jodie Foster.
Because why? It's just pink.
No,
Is that
no,
your beef
no. I
with
think
her
it's like
headband?
no. I think her. Is it me or is her a lot bigger? Like her emblem is a lot bigger than his, and he's the fucking king.
Do you think because obviously this father-son filmmaking duo of these two, do you think like it's an awkward thing to say, "Hey, Dad, like,
Can I
Let's-
bang her?
like, is there going to be a love interest in this film for me? Do I get to make out with? Do you want to watch me make out with a girl?
Well, if,
like
the, if the
that?
guy that does fight choreography has like the authority to,
I think he directed it too, didn't? No.
It was directed by
Sate.
someone Israel. I forgot. It should be somewhere along the.
we'll find
stats
out
there.
later.
Israel. Yeah, I agree. Israel directed.
That's his last name. Take a look. Take a look.
It's not there.
Get the stats. She,
So earlier you mentioned her emblem's bigger, so
Oh no! Look, like their emblems are fairly small, but her emblem on her headband is massive in comparison, and that's what my problem
a
is.
valid reason to dislike her.
No. What I mean is, it stands out differently. Like, how come
You've
hers?
stood against this character from the onset.
no, this isn't what I want to ask. I just want to ask you: what do you think of girls with big emblems?
I think they're great.
Oh, see, okay. So what do you got up against
As
her?
long as they're not
Just-
too big, like
No,
they have.
yeah, exactly.
See,
You want
like,
natural.
see, a few of these you can already see the surfboards in them before he has this vision. Of the
Vision.
surfboard.
They look like
And
almonds.
this is where he's starting to see things without the assistance of his game gear. He no longer, needs his gaming console to look into the future and see.
I missed the
pathways.
gaming console though.
Yeah,
It was the most emotional character.
It was certainly a charming.
I like this is
character.
all you need to teach people how to surf.
Bend
Bend your
your
knees,
knees,
use
use
your
your
arms. I like from now on you realize how fucking ripped he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like once he started to fight, they just showed off. Look how ripped he is.
It's all that car
And it's
surfing.
definitely a martial artist body. It's
Oh,
you know,
yeah, he's like
not
a
lot
little
of muscle
Oh,
Bruce
dude,
mass,
he's like
but,
4th degree
you know,
black belt in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
At this point.
I'm afraid of him. But he has really hard nipples in most of these scenes.
I don't have any belts in Taekwondo, but I do have a red belt in karate.
Do you?
I skipped 2 belts to get that red belt. I went from white to red.
Really?
Here comes your
What was
line,
in between?
Blue and yellow.
Okay.
And
so,
maybe green. I can't remember if green was
look,
fire or...
I didn't want to brag.
Here it is.
Oh, here it is.
Those of my generation do not surf, said the subtitles.
Those of my generation.
Yeah, brothers don't surf. Got translated into those of my generation. No, I didn't know that. No, what I was going to say was...
Those of my generation. Because the word brother got translated into something else, and then that got translated back.
It's not like he even said my brothers.
No. He just said, oops, brothers. Brothers in general. Do
My
not
favorite thing is, okay, you're talking about you got a belt
serve. It
in
could have been
karate.
just as easy as being siblings don't serve.
I used to be a 2-time world karate champion, and I watched...
And you're laughing
watched-
because it's true.
It's so true. And I watched Bend It Like Beckham in this film,
Yeah.
and it really turned my life around. No, that's a joke, of course. I actually do have a belt. I wear it for pants that are too big for me, which is most pants because I am tall and
what
thin.
colour is it?
I have 2. There's one that's brown and one
Wow,
that's
you're
black.
really high up.
And yeah, and I,
Those are
if
the
you're a
two, like,
tall, thin
highest
person,
belts.
you know the problem of buying pants. If you're tall and thin, they don't exist. Like skinny jeans on me are just normal jeans, because it's like if you're tall, that must mean you're fat somehow. Like that must mean like you have a large waist if you've got long legs.
And also-
And I did not know that fat people have really long legs. That's just
also
something
goes,
I'm
you know,
ignorant of.
Goes the other way. I have a large waist, and every pair of jeans I buy I have to roll up. Also, on a separate note, I almost had that exact jacket you've got, Bartek, when I was 15.
Bartek is wearing a jacket. Oh, we missed it. He surfed.
He surfed for the
Iggy
first
can
time.
surf.
And I think as
He went really far.
the audience, we share a bit of Iggy's triumph there. Yes, I did it. I finally did it, and we're like, good for you, Iggy. And like until then, Iggy had years of friendship with these surf
Surfers.
ninjas, without surfing with them once.
Okay, Sam, you've watched this movie how many times would you say?
It would be upwards of 10.
Past double digits. We have watched this twice.
Exactly double digits, maybe.
Past double digits, some might say. Because he said like upwards. You didn't sound too sure.
I didn't say up to 100 though,
Yeah.
which would have been triple digits. I'm
So
not sure
some
you
might
know
say
our
triple
digits.
digits.
No.
Okay, so
I have
you
not
watched
watched
this,
it 100 times.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't sound too sure. But
I'm
in
sure.
this fight scene, okay, you've watched this many a times.
Yeah.
Are there aspects of the film that you think could have been done better?
Probably not. I think that
It's perfect.
for the time as well, it
What it
fits
needed
the
to
kind
be.
of action sequence that audiences craved. This upward shot of Rob Schneider is beautiful as he runs. It definitely sort of suggests a level of power that
Yeah.
his character hasn't had prior to that moment.
Okay, so can I ask you, and I think Bartek is going to agree with me, hopefully.
Yes.
Could you please defend, for me personally,
Okay.
the bit in which Steve Martin / Leslie Nielsen violently masturbates with his robot hand?
That's a good part.
Hey,
That was a great part, but I want to know.
if you've got a robot hand, I think, certainly the teenagers in the audience and maybe even the dads, the sadder dads, I guess, I don't know, up to this point, were definitely asking themselves, has he jerked off with that robot hand? And what kind of damage does that do to your dick? And
A lot, I imagine.
yeah. Oh, here comes, some of the best parts of the movie as well.
Where this guy has to fall downstairs.
The stairs.
Is that the best?
It's one of the best.
Okay.
Remember 1993,
So there
a
was
3-year-old
Yeah.
boy watching
Boy?
this man
You
fall
a man.
down what is like thousands of steps.
Yeah, and he has no
He
way of
falls
getting
down
stopping himself.
all of them, and they definitely piece together the shots to like is an hour's worth of stairs he's already fallen down. They definitely edit the shots together to really suggest that these
He's fallen
stairs
down a
are
lot.
endless. Yeah.
I love.
It takes him the rest of the movie to get
I want
back
to
up
get.
the stairs.
No, he gets back up eventually. Then
Yeah,
he gets
and
back
then
down. Then he gets back up
down,
again.
yeah.
So he does all right. I just wanted to hear more about why it's okay that Leslie Nielsen is looking into the eyes of how old is the main guy supposed to be?
He's 15, coming on 16.
Looking into
yeah.
the eyes of a 15-year-old boy while furiously masturbating with his robot hand. Because that's something
Well,
when I
let's-
watched
let's-
it.
let's
I watched
get
it.
to
I
Let's-
watched
let's
it, and
let-
I
let's
just
let the moment come up first.
yeah, come up. Good choice. Okay, this is the bit in which
He flicked his Game Gear. So now that he doesn't need it to see the future, it still serves a purpose. In the film.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
He's been shot, and Rob Schneider's presence is more aggravating and hurtful
Then
than
the
being
bullet wound,
shot.
yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm fine, and then Rob Schneider fucks it up, and then he's
Also,
like, oh my god, get away
We just
from
had
me.
a shot of essentially where that wound should be, and we can't see it.
Because
Or
his
did he get
pecs are in the way.
Yeah.
And his nipple.
Did he get shot in the back?
Could you imagine
Or was it...
looking down at your dad during this sequence, and he's pretending to have died, and then he's not dying, and both of you are trying to flex your pecs as much as you can, because that's what they were doing during that sequence. Like, he's flexing his pecs, like, oh, I'm down, and then he's flexing his pecs, like, oh, I'm going to avenge you, and it's just so awkward.
All they needed to do was sweat.
Have you ever seen the Friday movies?
I have done.
The 13th?
Friday, no, just
Yeah,
Friday.
so he comes back up the steps, and then a different guy,
Just,
like...
no, it's the main guy, yeah?
Yeah, but the
Oh.
girl did it the first
Yeah, I
time.
know, but it's like now the main guy, like,
Now the main guy...
flips
Oh, it is the
him
main guy.
for days.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
all Asians are
Johnny.
the same.
Johnny.
No, I was gonna say in the Friday movies.
And then, again, frictionless
yeah.
stairs.
Well, I love-
stairs,
he was falling on his ass, but now he's falling sideways.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was in the third Friday movie, which is apparently the worst one, which may one day be on this show because I think it's unappreciated.
Yeah.
Terry Crews is in it, and
I
he
love
grabs
Terry Crews.
Ice Cube and I can't remember the other guy, and he grabs them and he chokes them by squeezing his pecs so hard that it cuts off their circulation to their throats.
Yeah.
And I just
Johnny
got
just
reminded in this scene.
deflected and like,
A bullet?
so accurately that he took out the wheel of a car. And here we throw back to the water. The
Water. But I love.
Damaging.
He's like, oh, my hand, and then he's like, no, I'm fine actually. Like he's like, oh, it's okay. I wet.
These subtitles.
I'm fine.
It's I fine.
No, it's I'm fine actually.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, this shot is beautiful. Like,
It looks
look at
like
it. It's the most
running low
beau-
on battery though. His
It,
Game Gear.
oh no, like that shot with the red mist and smoke behind him, it looked beautiful. I love, just shoot him. Just shoot him is something I wrote constantly about the ninjas. Like, they have guns and they don't shoot people with
Yeah.
them.
Well, Austin Powers addressed this in the movie. As opposed
And they
as
were
opposed to the
direct-
Austin Powers cartoon. I
They
guess.
were
I don't know.
directly responding to Surf Ninjas when he said that. Like,
Yeah.
just shoot, you know.
Just shoot.
So, did their prop of this knife break? Because it looks broken.
No, it's just the style. It's the
It's the
style
style.
of sword where they have
I guess you want to hit him with the corners.
less of a
I guess it's less
curved blade at
lethal.
top.
I like how he, in the fight, instantly gave it to Rob Schneider. Like, he's like, I don't need this for now. Like,
Yeah.
you have it, Rob. Yeah, choke yourself out. Like, he's a bit Michael Hutchinson in this
We've
scene,
all
I must
had,
agree.
it's erotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're not careful, Michael Hutchinson kind of thing will happen where you die in your closet for the world to see.
I was in the In Excess miniseries.
Were you Michael Hutchinson?
Like, less than 20 minutes in, he's at a concert. And
Oh my God,
I'm in
there
the
it is.
audience.
Talk about robot
That's-
masturbation,
look,
please. Look
I
at him.
think
He's enjoying it too.
Masturbation is a strong word.
Yeah,
We've
jerking
all-
his cock with a robot hand
It was-
while wanting to make a cum face. It's definitely
I
not
think
masturbation.
it was also his nuts. Like,
Well, I mean,
No, it clearly looked like his. I love, and his nipples are very hard after he masturbated furiously, like the
you
main
can't see
kids.
his
no, the main
main Skibble's
kids.
nids have not calmed down. What are you
No, they got
talking
harder.
Big Fat Liar ended with Paul Giamatti getting a blowjob from a dog. And you're
What?
complaining about this.
Wait, when did that happen?
Hey, he's the callback.
Okay, let's never explain that. Watch
So,
Big Fat Liar.
I'll tell you what also this suggests, this using the same shot, is that Toothless Man
Is ageless?
has survived the evil regime.
Yeah, I think he was an informer.
And also, it's clear that, I guess, it kind of made it look like as if that shot wasn't reused because they panned up and then panned to this, which was all one continuous
Yeah, well,
shot.
Yeah, but before they panned.
Yeah,
Did
well,
they? Okay.
no, they panned a lot. And
No, like in the previous shot,
In the
it was
flashback.
just him bang the dong, and then it cut to the parents.
it did not. It went up and then right, and there was stuff.
No, that just happened then, but back in the flashback,
It didn't.
It did just happen then.
no, it
It did happen now, and it happened then. And look, here's the we all wanted him to come back.
Oh, I didn't realize that he was gonna be like a setup and a payoff, so I was really happy. Like, I didn't realize.
Yeah, you had no idea he was going to be there.
Like, I thought, it was
Rock
just
and
some
roll,
random.
buddy.
Oh yeah,
And he is so clearly a different Asian to the rest of the Asian people.
Oh,
there.
he's clearly different.
He's
but maybe it's also because he's the only fat one.
And then I feel like you can tell the
Yeah,
difference.
Baba Rum
If
doesn't
you-
really sound...
if
Well,
you-
it's a fictional language, maybe. I don't know.
Baba Rum.
Well, that's his name, isn't it? Like Baba Rum?
Yeah, that's his name.
That's
That's
why
why
they
they have the
Barbara-
song. That's why the song is that song.
Yeah, okay.
It's emotional, Sam. This guy's watched it well over 100 times. I thought you would have noticed that, but I guess, you know.
Well, he didn't watch it with these excellent subtitles.
Yeah.
I've never watched it with subtitles before.
I like Johnny's attitude when he starts having his speech.
I just love, that the younger brother, Adam, he did quite a lot in the film. Like, I could argue that he was the real hero.
Mm-hmm. He
Yeah.
drove.
Because he's the one that made...
My first Bill King.
Yeah. He was the one that made Leslie Nielsen's hand fritz out, during the fight. So if anything, the younger one should be king. I don't care.
Wait, did...
The younger brother, he was playing the Game Boy thing, and he made it
him
so his hand would,
couldn't shoot
turn
the gun.
against him.
Oh, I thought that was what the water did.
No, the water probably helped that, but, he was on the Game Boy thing, he's like, no, you don't, and then when he shot, the gun went up,
Yeah.
He also
his
made him
hand
choke
fritz
himself.
so badly that he couldn't use the gun.
Oh, I thought that was the water.
No,
No,
that-
you're
okay.
meant to. I think you're meant to notice that too. That the younger brother has a direct hand in
The fight.
the fight.
Oh, I completely missed it.
Well, pay attention. Oh, I like how this guy's like, okay, I'll just roll back down the stairs. Not, okay,
Well,
I'll
at least
just
he's not
join
gonna,
you.
Yeah, at least he's
Yeah.
not going to go back up again.
He might. We didn't watch. Did you watch till the end of the credits? My God, the
I skipped to the end
soundtrack
of the
in this
credits.
movie. Okay, the soundtrack in this movie is so aggressive. There are scenes in which I can't understand some of the things that they're saying because the music is louder than the dialogue, and that's good. I think that's very good because
Because it's not about what they say; it's about the general feel of the scene.
yeah,
You're
it's
not-
about what their
It's
faces
about
are
what
telling you.
what emotions you click into, and not necessarily about the exact words.
What actor? Which actor played this guy? He looks so familiar.
I think at the time in the 90s, this
Adam
guy was
Sandler.
used for every Asian
Yeah, no,
role.
yeah.
And especially Asian roles where they were very stereotypical Asian with Asian accents. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
What
Like,
other movies has he been in? Because I definitely...
I couldn't tell you a single word.
I
Yeah.
could. I
could
bet he
not
was.
tell you a
I bet he was
single
in Seinfeld though.
Probably.
I personally feel like he's like. Have you seen that the world's most recognizable extra? And
Yes,
it's
I
that,
have,
Yeah,
yeah.
that fat guy. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like
the
that.
British guy or something?
No, he's like that fat young guy with like the frizzy hair and like the really pale complexion, but with really red cheeks, and he's like in everything. In the background is okay.
Gumbay.
Scumbag never cared.
We missed...
Romay was the girl's name. You apparently only heard it once in the
Yeah.
entire film. And that's how good of a character she was. Because, in my opinion, she looks like an Asian Jodie Foster. Who, according to Sam, was... What was it? Jodie Foster was like wet hair.
It was a wet sock, tan sock filled with meat. I think she is much prettier than Jodie Foster.
Well, Jodie Foster young. You're thinking of Jodie Foster in her prime.
Even in her prime, is she not in her prime when she's young?
No, because in acting terms.
Okay.
In
I
acting
thought
terms,
you
we know
mentioned-
Jodie Foster in the 90s, but when she was young, it was in the 70s. And we don't know 70s Jodie Foster outside of Taxi Driver, really.
I mean,
Well, I don't.
Sure, I just think, this... You've been very harsh on this girl the whole time.
Look, we've watched other films, okay, where there's been
Sound
more
mixer,
attractive...
Ike Makel is what his name was.
And
And he's
fuck
probably the one who fucked up.
What do you mean
He's
fucked
the
up?
only one who fucked up.
Okay, so the movie's finally ended.
Yeah.
The movie's finally ended
Let's
on a
look for the
musical
director,
number.
'cause
The director's already gone on.
I know. It'll
There
come-
was
it'll come up
credit.
again.
There was a credit that said assistant to Mr. Israel.
Yeah, I told you his last name was
I'm
Israel.
not lying. I'm not thinking you're lying. I just didn't look it up because I didn't really think to, because I was too busy
Rule
watching the
number one
movie.
is you like when you.
Well, host
you
your
don't
own
know who
podcast
directed
and make
it.
your own rules.
So I only
Fuck you, Sam.
Thailand.
I only read.
Thailand is a beautiful country. If you do get a
If
chance
you love
to
ping
go there,
pong
go there.
balls, shooting over vaginas, visit Thailand.
If you love vaginas, that you can just say if you love vaginas, visit Thailand.
So the
They're
only-
readily available. There.
The only
Yeah, sometimes. And dicks available there a lot too.
Yeah, well, if you don't have a problem with dicks,
And vaginas.
yeah,
Visit Thailand. You guys say Bartek.
The only bit of trivia I read is that apparently I don't think we addressed it, but there was a shot where the girl kicked one of the guys in the nuts in that fight scene.
Whoa.
Apparently,
He ruptured his testicle.
yeah, apparently that stuntman said he'd be fine getting kicked in the nuts, but apparently it really did hurt him a lot.
Aw, and he never had kids and he died alone. Who would have known? So
That rhymed.
Yep. So that was Surf Ninjas, everyone. Made in 1993. Emotional film. Best film ever made. What I love about doing this series of unappreciated masterpieces is all of these films are forgotten masterpieces, obviously. But having viewed them all, I can't help but kind of see the familiar way of telling a story, the familiar acting styles, the really worn down, trodden ground of these films are all interconnected.
Frictionless ground.
Frictionless ground.
Yeah.
And I just love watching it, and it's just like watching these movies in comparison to appreciated movies, you can just see that there's two sides of the same coin, you know? One is just a lot more worn down than the other. But that's okay. I just love watching these films and just getting this universe of films where a director was like, you wrote that? Okay, let's make it. And then an actor was like, okay, I'm going to remember such poignant lines as, who were these Quimbies, bruh? You know? And here's something. I did not know what
inserts.
I did
created
not
in
know
the
what Quimbies meant.
Yeah.
So I had to Google it, and it means like faceless goons. But I'm
Okay.
like, is
Okay.
it Quimby from The Simpsons?
Probably.
Well, he's
not.
got a face.
That's probably the other way around. That Mayor Quimby from The Simpsons
Was inspired by this, yeah.
Surf
Was
Ninjas.
Mayor Quimby really popular in 1993?
No. Not until after
Yeah,
1993.
that's when they
Bum
are.
equipment.
Okay, so
Because I'm an ass guy.
Bum equipment. Gotta make sure we give those guys a shout out. The bum equipment guys.
I hope you guys are watching the credits with us.
yeah. Yeah.
There was a song there
You
earlier.
would've- otherwise you would have missed
There was a
the
song.
bum equipment
Was it-
guy.
I think there was a song in that list of songs called "Cock of the North."
I imagine-
Right up your bum equipment. Yeah.
I imagine there was. It wouldn't be Surf Ninjas if there wasn't.
Okay, so Sam, since you're the one who's the guest, yeah, since you're the guest, and you're the one who introduced us to this masterpiece,
Yes.
I have to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I also have to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Bartek also has to say thank you.
So does Ryan.
So now it's the end. The credits have rolled. We are now looking at a blank screen. We now are going to review the films, make our own little reviews, and give it a rating out of our choosing. Sam, I'd like to hear your review of this film, what you have to say about this film, and what you would rate it.
I'd like to go last if that's possible.
Oh, you want to go last?
Yes, please.
You're breaking the rules. Okay, I usually go last, but okay. Bartek, you go first, because
yeah,
you've
that
never
is
gone
true.
first.
First. Okay, well,
First time a lady.
I was really impressed. I was gonna make a bum equipment.
I was really impressed with the bum.
equipment.
I was really impressed with the bum
What
equipment in
kind
this
of
film.
equipment is that?
Bum.
To give the illusion of frictionless surfaces.
This is Bartek's review and rating of the 1993 classic film Surf Ninjas.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I couldn't help but compare this movie to Bend It Like Beckham while we were watching it.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
For obvious reasons, but I focused more on the aspect of mise-en-scene and cinematography.
Certainly.
So, Bend It Like Beckham is an English Indian movie. Not in like the most official sense, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of stuff that you would find in a Bollywood movie there,
Yeah.
such as lots of colours, big extravagant sets and stuff like that. But I feel like this movie nailed it even more. Like, it had the genuine 1993 Los Angeles set.
Which is in California.
Yes. I say set, but it was an actual place.
City of
It was-
Angels, yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact, Los Angeles, California is actually a real place. You can go there.
I have yet to go, but I hear Thailand's nice.
Yeah.
I went there when I was 10.
Cool.
Yeah, I did
And
too.
I went to Thailand when I was much older.
And if you don't have
Go on, Bartek.
if you don't have too much money, you can just play San Andreas.
Yeah.
There you go, which is obviously
Or
not
GTA
based-
5, which is mostly just Los Santos.
Yes, go on, Bartek.
Yes, so the scenes set in not Thailand were also very beautifully done. It could have used some, restaurants, like I said earlier, to indicate where it was. And of course, we got to give big props to Rob Schneider and the bum equipment.
Which were interconnected.
Yeah, I used bum equipment. Now you can all laugh. You can give you a few minutes to laugh.
Yes, bum equipment. So, what's your rating?
I would definitely have to rate this movie. Jeez, it's like, what number's big enough?
I don't know. It's hard.
Hold on. What's the number between 1 and 10?
A number between?
1
Yes.
and 10.
I didn't fully pay attention.
Okay,
9.
look. When you put up one finger, that means 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
14. There you go.
That's
Okay.
not between 1 and 10.
Yeah, are you sure? Because it's well over double digits.
Alright, what number did you just say? 14?
Yeah.
Okay, I give it 5 out of 5. You can all give you a few minutes to laugh.
There was this thing online that I saw where a guy was like, I saw The Dark Knight for the first time. I give it 5 out of 7, and they're like, why did you give it that? And then the guy making fun of him was just like, do you see 5 and 7 as like the same number? And then like throughout the rest of like these statuses on Facebook, it's like this guy's like, oh, can't wait for this movie to come out. It's going to be coming out in 5 days' time. It's like, and then the guy's like, oh, so you mean a week? Okay,
Is this
so
a guy you're friends with or something?
yeah, it was really good. I love it. He's just doing all that. But back to the reviewing of Surf Ninjas. Surf Ninjas. This is what I have to say about it. Surf Ninjas was a refreshing little movie to watch. It was great because, as I said earlier on, Bartek and I have been focusing on early 2000s films. So it was great to see a different genre of filmmaking from a different decade. The thing about the 90s for me was I was born in the 90s and grew up in that era of the 90s where obviously I couldn't really remember it. But it's that thing about the 90s that people think the 90s didn't really have an identity of its own until much later in the 90s. That it was kind of like a weaker copy of the 80s. And the 2000s was a weaker copy of the 90s, which is a weaker copy of the 80s.
I was about to say, we talked about how the noughties seemed kind of blank
Until
now.
you watch these movies. And that's what I have to say about this. Watching this, you could see the 90s just bursting through every single frame. The 90s was prevalent in the language, in the image, in the storytelling, in the characters, in the acting. It's prevalent in every single moment of the film, and it makes me long for the 90s in a way, which is not a phrase lots of people say, because let's be honest, the 90s wasn't the most spectacular of decades out of every single decade, but it was a decade, and it makes me remember that. I would have to say that this movie is one of the most ambitious movies we've done on this show. It's action-packed. It's got emotional drama. At the center of it is a brotherly bond. And there's a romance to boot as well. So, it's got everything. What this film actually makes me feel sad about is, having just watched it, seeing the legendary talents of Rob Schneider in his very, very early days, seeing his optimism and enthusiasm and his joy for what he's doing. It makes me sad because I feel like we don't get that from Rob Schneider these days. I feel like Rob Schneider, along with a lot of the others from his era of comedy, such as Adam Sandler and the others, have kind of cashed in or kind of have given up in their joy of their craft. And I feel like watching this just makes me miss what Rob Schneider wanted to be, what he could have been. But Rob Schneider has done an amazing body of work since this film, but this is the cherry on top of the Rob Schneider cake. I give this film, oh boy, I mean, what can you give this film? There's so many things you could give it. You could give it like a Cowabunga out of Surf
Radical.
Dudes, out of Rad.
Cowabunga, I don't eat my shorts.
Out of but I have to give this, it's not even a rating. It's just the comment that sums up this film. You know what comment it is?
I hope I got it right.
Brothers don't serve. Which I still can't get over because that's a stereotype I did not know existed. Like, Sam's like, well, their lackluster ability to swim. I didn't know that. But I didn't know that there's a specific thing that brothers don't surf until this film came into my existence, and now I am educationally aware.
I'd like to know if there were black men watching this film who, when he was about to surf, they're like, whoa, what's this? And then when he says, yo, brothers don't surf, or those of my generation do not surf.
Yeah.
There were some, black men going, "You're damn right." Like, absolutely nodding to
His
themselves
line-
in the cinema. Like, thank God they didn't misrepresent us.
His line is, "Brothers don't surf. When I get back to the hood, they're gonna kill me," or
Yeah.
something. And it's like, I hope that when people watch this, they're like, right, where's his address? We're gonna get him.
Yeah, exactly. I just imagine, like, yes, I'm glad that they brought that up. Like, I would hate for it to have gone unsaid.
I'm sure in the bend your
scheme.
knees, use your arms scene, I noticed that tone like wasn't really doing anything. So
Yeah.
I hope that they were watching it, thinking like, okay, is he going
This
to?
brother's not going to surf.
Is he going to?
Surf, is he?
Like,
Is he going to address it? Is he
I
going to
mean,
address
Yeah,
it?
they better bring it up. Like,
Yeah, they
so-
better, and he's a cop. Yep, okay. Enough of me. That's my
Okay.
rating. My rating is just
Brothers
Brothers
Don't
Don't Surf. Go, Sam. You're important.
I think this film is it definitely holds a nostalgic value for anyone in the 90s. But it, like Ryan said, it is an absolute slice of the 90s. It bursts out of every scene. But there's also homages to the 60s surf films, and also to other sort of early 70s martial arts films. So it's a seamless blend of two very much loved genres, and it just works perfectly. I would give it probably a 6 out of 6.
Nice.
And it just gets better with every watch.
It is an amazing gem of a film. I recommend watching it if you like surfing. Rob
ninjas,
Schneider,
yeah.
ninjas, Asian culture, jokes, plots,
Tiny bananas.
Steve Martin, monkeys,
Magic powers,
robot wanking.
Game Boys, and
brothers
Similar.
not surfing.
yeah.
This is the film for you. Can I just say something before we do the next series of we're going to do the reviews from IMDb. But Sam brought up a point that I just really want to touch now. Is the surfing film genre dead right now? I can't think of a surfing film that's been out in 15 years.
Probably.
Was this the one
there's
to
a Disney-
end all surfing movies?
This is probably the last good surfing film. I think there's been haphazard attempts, like there's a surf movie, Disney Channel original movie, and we've had movies like Lords of Dogtown, which is, although it focuses on the birth of skateboarding, they're all kind of fail in comparison
Wait,
to Surf Ninjas anyway, really.
Dudes,
Is he going to say what I think he's going to say?
Surf's Up.
Surf's Up.
That's not what I was
That
gonna
is the
say.
one and only
Surf movie ever
great
made
surf
after
movie
Surf
made,
Ninjas.
made after Surf Ninjas,
I
which is
haven't-
an excellent film.
I haven't seen
Go
this
Shire.
movie, but like Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Oh, yep, that's a surf movie. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's a surf movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen a fantasy
Okay.
movie,
Surfing
so
culture
I don't know.
prevalent. in
Okay,
that
guys.
film.
Now
right,
this
let's
is
look at
us.
these reviews.
This now other people had other views and other people had other things to say when it comes to surf ninjas.
They can be wrong.
They can be wrong or they can be right. Now, last week we had a ball with Bend It Like Beckham because there was some real articulated thoughts on that film. Now, unfortunately, this week they're not as articulated, but the heart is still there for Surf Ninjas. This is a long title, but I've got to read it anyway, and this was written in 2001. Okay? The title is "The only hunch I can surmise as to why people rated this film so low was because they were not the demographic target. But then again, neither am I, and I still enjoyed Surf Ninjas immensely." That's the title of it.
And I think that's almost the biggest sum up of the film.
Yeah. So this is what they had to say. Surf Ninjas is an excellent film. I suppose many people viewed the early 90s American pop culture references and dated jargon as off-putting, but to me they gave the film a sense of nostalgic charm. The only hunch I can surmise as to why people rated this film so low was because they were not the demographic target. But then again, neither am I, and I still enjoyed Surf Ninjas immensely. Sure, Surf Ninjas isn't the most enjoyable film. Difficult pinpointing why exactly I like it so much, but one of the main reasons was because the main characters were so engaging and enjoyable. The most enjoyable characters are Johnny and Iggy, but just about everyone turns out an enjoyable performance here. One of my favourite scenes in the film is when the cast gives a hilarious rendition of the song Barbara Ann. That's their favourite.
Yeah.
It is quite a funny rendition.
Barbara Ann. Right after Johnny right after Johnny liberates his people. Also, there are some...
That took me a second to realise what you said.
Liberates his people.
But he does do that.
And then
It's
the
right.
next thing is they sing Barbara Ann. After he liberates an entire country.
You're free from dictatorship. Ba, ba, ba,
And I'm
ba, ba,
also
ba,
going
ba.
to introduce democracy to your society. Ba 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 ba.
Okay. Also, there are some wonderful jokes in the film, many of which are very witty, but I won't give them away here.
Oh no.
We've already talked about.
That's what they have to say. But I won't give any away here. They are far too funny to spoil. I guess this is the type of film you call a guilty pleasure, but I don't really see why. Why anyone would categorize something such as this that's funnier than 90% of American comedies out there as guilty is beyond me. 9 out of 10 stars.
What an excellent reviewer.
I agree. They were great. Now this person, their one is very simple. It is best movie ever.
Short and to the point. Yeah,
10 out of 10 stars.
Yeah. It'd be weird if you
2000
rated it lower than that. Like
Okay.
yeah.
2003 this was written. I feel it's important to remember the dates of these reviews because these are from the earlier days of IMDb as well, but it's also like it's a little time capsule.
So what year was the first review?
That was 2001.
Okay.
No, 2002, sorry.
Okay.
I think. Wait, no, 2001. I was right. We were
Okay.
right. Okay, everybody. Now, I know you might be saying to yourselves, this guy is stupid and needs to be shot very quickly or his rare strain of stupidness might spread.
Dude, I hope he's okay.
I think it's okay.
I hope no one has taken the action that he's suggested.
Well, we
against
haven't.
himself.
I don't think we've seen an update from him since 2003.
Oh no.
And you are, and I love this, and you are entitled to your opinion. But this time, I think you're all mistaken when you say that Surf Ninjas is a bad movie. It may not have done well at the theaters, or anywhere else for that matter.
Where else was it shown?
On video, I imagine. But if you were a kid and you didn't watch Surf Ninjas hundreds of times in a row, I don't think your life...
row, dude. In a row. Watch them in a row hundreds of times, please. Take up a week.
Okay. I don't think your life is really complete. I mean,
Agreed.
sure, this movie may not have had the best plot or characters or ninjas, but if you're the type of person who can love and appreciate this
You rated them as ninjas. But they were ninjas that surfed. You have to cut them some slack.
Yeah,
for
but they
that.
didn't have nunchucks while surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
so...
only so much you can do while surfing
yeah.
as a ninja.
Where was I? It's, ninjas. But if you're the type of person who can love and appreciate this type of movie, then you know that it was probably never meant to have those things. This movie is fun to watch because of the cheesy action sequences and the bad jokes. So maybe it isn't the best movie ever, as I stated in my title.
Misleading.
I feel betrayed. But it sure was good enough for me to buy it on DVD. All of you who think that it's not worth it to see his movie anywhere, let alone
That one guy who owns this movie, Rob Schneider.
Israel's movie. Oh yeah, Schneider.
let alone buy it,
Buddy Israel.
let alone buy it are all wrong. You really should do one of those things. Anyway,
Do one of them. Pick one and then do it, please.
this is probably
Don't
the
do
best.
both of
Okay,
them.
guys, this is probably the best ending to one of the reviews I've ever read. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling on this one
Self-aware.
because it is pretty late. So yeah, watch this movie. 10 out of 10.
Man, he really is stupid to think that other people wouldn't think that this movie is fantastic.
Yeah, that's the part I can't really wrap my head around too much in that guy's review.
Yeah, that guy was a bit complex. Okay, this one is called Saving Face for Surf Ninjas.
Yay.
In 2002 also. I believe that a lot of people do not understand how to criticize on a film. People are supposed to grade it for what it is, not for what the actors are doing now, not for how it should have been compared to what it is, and certainly not for the type of film that it is. Surf Ninjas is a feel-good movie that is targeted for kids. Excellent. Granted, I am over 18 and I still love the movie, and then they had to put this one in brackets, but I'm also into surfing and martial arts. So the film is right up my alley. And then end brackets. Granted that the film could have been put together when compared to films of today. But you must understand that the film was low budget. This wasn't made by a director who could throw away money. This film was made by someone who had an idea and who had barely any of the capabilities and extensive training.
Rough.
Not to mention the lack of funds for really cool computer-generated effects. If you grade the movie on what it is, a kid movie, and you understand what kind of budget they had to work with, you have to give the movie at least 8 out of 10 stars.
At least.
Even if you don't like martial arts or Rob Schneider. Who couldn't like him? Personally, I rate it 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it and are having doubts, at least go give it a try and give it a try to see what you think. Don't read any more from these silly critics. I bet you'll enjoy the film in full. 10 out of 10.
I bet he's friends with the director. He's got like inside knowledge.
This is the kind of guy that would appreciate that Surf Ninjas is the Spy Kids of 1993.
Yeah.
That it like Spy Kids combined the two loves of America of spies and kids and Surf Ninjas.
I thought you were going to say spies and Antonio Banderas.
Well, yeah, that's a given, but
he's a kid at heart. He's got a kid's heart in his jaw, probably. I love that person was just like, take my word as a critic, but don't take anyone else's.
And I think also something that you could introduce to this little segment is you could just have a little, and how high were they? Like, it would be great to know.
I don't think anyone was high.
Oh no, you don't. I'm not. I want to make this very clear. You don't have to be high to have these opinions of Surf Ninjas. In fact,
you have to be sane.
You know, you just got to be a person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into the marijuana, but I enjoyed it.
It would be interesting to just sort of think about, like they admit themselves that they ramble on a bit and that it's quite late. I wonder how high this person was when they
dude, you should have been here for Benedict Beckham.
Especially for anyone who has a negative review, that's when you really ask how high that's been.
Do any of these like reviews do they have to be approved to be in this section? Like,
no, you just put them in there.
No, you do have to
have an IMDb account.
Yeah,
but that's
okay. I think that's the only screening process.
So this is the last one. It's short, simple, to the point. This movie is great. Surf Ninjas is a great movie. My friends and I totally disagree with whoever said it was a waste of money and time. You
that one guy who said it.
I like that they also got their friends involved. Like, this person didn't just gung-ho jump on and write. Yeah. He said, wait a second.
Let me
ask, guys, what do you think?
Tony, you want to watch Surf Ninjas? Yeah, bro, let's do it. Dan, and then he's like, yo, Dad, come on.
Dan, do you think Surf Ninjas is a waste of money? And it's like, no, bro, I do not. And it's like, well, now it's time to hit up IMDb and put that guy in his place.
Okay, so you actually have to have a great sense of humor to like that movie. Many people, as well as myself, think this movie is drop dead funny.
It is.
10 out of 10.
Short and sweet.
I agree
Short
with that guy.
and sweet.
Drop dead
simple
funny.
To
you
the
can't
point.
buy money. You can't buy knives. Money doesn't buy knives. Hey man, can I buy some knives? Nah, dude, don't you know? Money doesn't buy knives.
Wait. Say that again. Ask me again.
Hey, can I buy some knives?
Brothers don't serve.
I was gonna say that.
Oh.
I like casually tap Bartek on the chest. His reaction is "ow," because brothers don't serve.
He has a very sensitive chest.
He wounds you.
I was stretching.
Any final thoughts?
Which weakened your chest.
Any final thoughts, ideas, anything you want to talk about? Mention.
The more we think about it, and after having watched it again, the more I would just love for Michael Bay to get his hands on the rights for Surf Ninjas 2, because I'm sure they're floating around, and just make Megan Fox's life a little more miserable by working with her again in the film. But I just think this needs a revival. It needs to come back. Like, the first film definitely stands and has stood the test of time.
Yeah, exactly.
But wouldn't it just be great to see these characters again?
You know what? The kid who played Adam hasn't been in a movie since.
Yeah.
How great would it be if his first movie since Surf
Ninjas?
Surf Ninjas 2.
Okay, so if you had to do a reboot, say, because we're in the age of reboots,
Motorized
remakes,
surf.
remakes,
Really yeah.
who would you cast instead of these guys?
Remake?
Yeah.
Hard to say. I just think there's... I think... I'm not sure of her name, but I think the easiest person to recast in this film is
Jodie Foster as the girl.
Asian Jodie Foster.
Yeah, the girl.
There's a girl that I'm thinking of, which is an actress that I like. I don't know her name. Actually,
Maggie Smith.
It's not Maggie Smith. That's not to say Maggie Smith doesn't have a place in this film.
She could be the surfboard.
She's the wife in Hangover 2. She was Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball film. She was Rob Schneider's daughter, which would be great if you could bring that sort of, have them together again. Rob Schneider's daughter in Grown Ups, the Asian one.
I assume so.
But that's the only person I could think to recast. She is drop dead gorgeous, and that would shut Ryan up about whether this girl is gorgeous.
Look, you said this chick was drop dead gorgeous. I don't think so.
If we recast this film and had this Asian woman in it, there'd be no way Ryan could say she's ugly.
You mentioned Dragon Ball, so what about the idea of maybe an animated Surf Ninjas?
It's almost an injustice that Surf Ninjas didn't get its own spin-off animated series like many films or shows did.
It got a video game that was in the movie.
Yeah.
And apparently there was a Sega game called Surf Ninjas before this movie.
Yeah. Okay, so if I had to recast, very hard. Obviously, Steve Martin's dead now, so can't cast him as the villain. But if I had to cast someone as the villain, I would say Leslie Nielsen. I would cast him as the villain, for sure.
Or Kevin Spacey.
No, Kevin Spacey is a bit too obvious. I think you have to go out of your way to choose someone else that's a little more likable. Jason Bateman. Okay, have Jason Bateman as the villain, right? And he's got a metal face.
That would, that'd be great, because that would be a bit of a challenge for Jason. That would be a role for him
worth
to tackle.
of him. And I feel like, as Rob Schneider's character, let's go different. Let's go with someone not from Saturday Night Live. Let's go with someone who's not necessarily known for their comedic talents. Okay. I'm thinking Liam Neeson. And he still plays like an 18-year-old guy.
Look, as long as we don't get fucking Orson Welles.
No, Orson Welles.
I think,
Orson Welles would direct.
I think.
No, Michael Bay's directing, of course.
If I were to recast Iggy,
you would cast him with Iggy Azalea. I agree.
I don't know why, but Jesse Eisenberg comes to mind.
It's because you're worried about him as Lex Luthor, so you want him to be anything else but.
It seems like he's playing the Riddler to me.
He seems like he's playing fucking Jesse Eisenberg, but enough about that failed project waiting to happen. That will be on the show one day.
Only if it turns out to be amazing and underappreciated.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I think as the main guy, let's mix it up. Let's get The Rock as Johnny. And
or Zach.
No. You need Brendan Fraser as Zach, because that would rekindle the Mummy.
His entire career, yeah.
The Mummy 2.
What about?
Because The Rock and Brendan Fraser were both in
it. True. Although.
What about
the cop?
Oh, the cop. Well,
I would think.
Chris Tucker.
Here's what I... No. It's too obvious. You cast a white man as the cop.
Oh, yeah.
You change none of his dialogue.
And the only white guy I think who can play black
Zach Braff.
Nope. Damn. The guy who plays McLovin.
Oh, him! Chris Mentz plays to play him.
I forgot his name, but yes.
He says, brothers don't surf.
Brothers don't surf.
You go for the subtitled version, and all the whole movie is filmed with these subtitles as the dialogue, and he says, "Those of my generation."
Okay. We've got to cast the younger brother. I'm thinking. So
Bruce Cook.
You're from Thunderbirds?
Dude, no. Bruce Cook and Bum Equipment go together.
No. Yes. I'm thinking, we need someone a bit different. We need someone that, is a child, for one, at the moment. I think we need the boy from The Visit, which is the new M. Night Shyamalan film.
Is that a prequel to Just Visiting?
Yeah, the boy's name is like Eddie Oxenberg or something, and he's an Australian kid, and he's very, very white, and I feel like we need him to be the younger brother. Yeah. So imagine on the screen, guys, you're sitting there, and you're like, hey, Ryan, do you want to see Star Wars, the new one, or Surf Ninjas? I'm like, well, of course, Surf Ninjas. By Michael Bay, and you're just sitting there and it's like surf ninjas and explosions are happening on the screen. It's like starring The Rock.
Real talk.
Fucking Jason Bateman.
I wouldn't mind Steve Ewan being in it.
Which one's Steve Ewan again?
He's Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna, have Asian
it's a bit too obvious. I would go with Ron Perlman as the younger brother.
What about the kid who was in Paranormal Activity 4?
I don't know that particularly.
He was this really creepy, possessed kid.
Oh, that's all of them, isn't it? What about the kid from Insidious, if you want to really go there? Let's just keep going with creepy children actors. Macaulay Culkin! He's not doing anything great.
Culkin.
Did you read that name off the subtitles, Ryan?
How do you pronounce it?
Culkin. There's only one L.
How did I pronounce it?
Culkin.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of his cooler brother.
Also has the same last name, does he not?
Emilio Estevez doesn't have the same last name as Charlie Sheen.
If you're going to change your last name from that of your siblings and family, why would you just add one L to it?
I don't know.
Wouldn't you change it entirely?
Yeah.
Why would you say,
no.
alright, I'm going to change my name? Alright, what are you changing it from? I don't want to be Rory Culkin anymore.
I don't
want to be
Rory.
I want to be Rory Culkin. Well, that's fucking stupid, Rory.
I don't...
We don't want you in this family anymore anyway.
Yeah, we'd rather your drug-addled older brother.
I don't want to be Bartłomiej Kasprzyszak. I want to be Bartłomiej Kasprzyszak.
Yeah.
I agree.
Don't just add L's to names.
So, I didn't realise. I also was like Macaulay Culkin.
You said it again.
I know. That's what I mean. Like, I thought it's Macaulay... How is it?
Culkin.
Colkin.
Yeah.
Coldkin.
Look, it's underappreciated masterpiece.
Just like Macaulay Culkin's career. Yeah.
I can't even tell if you did it again or not.
I'm not doing it on purpose. I legitimately just have ingrained myself to, look, if I'd be bothered...
read.
I can't. I'm too busy watching Surf Ninjas and coming up with sequels and reboots and leave me alone.
It's okay. Macaulay Culkin's handsome.
I think we're doing pretty well. I think this film has brought us to a great little zen moment in which I'm like, get away from me. I know how to pronounce Macaulay Culkin correct.
I love Ryan.
I love me too.
I love Macaulay Culkin.
Sign off with something, guys. Like one little thing to sum up. If you have to give a random person a 1 or 2 sentence description of Surf Ninjas, give us it. You go, Sam.
It's a film with a lot of balls.
Okay, Bartek?
It's like Sound of Music, but pretty rad and less Nazis.
Yeah.
It is a 90s film, and it makes me miss the 2000s. That's the perfect one for me. Just randomly, I was on the bus talking to my girlfriend about, we're going to watch Surf Ninjas, and she's like, we've already watched Surf Ninjas before. I'm like, no, we haven't. She got it confused with the classic trauma film Surf Nazis Must Die. Because both of them
very different
because both of them have characters that are not both of them have characters that are at the beach.
Yeah.
And I get them confused. Any surf film, Surf Nazis Must Die, I get it confused with Surf's Up all the time. Well, guys, you guys have been fantastic.
Especially me.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys have been great, fantastic listening people. We've been Spit and Polish Presents. And we are going to do, our next one is going to be a Christmas movie, because Christmas is slowly encroaching upon us day by day, wearing me down to the point in which I cry snowflakes. I've enjoyed Surf Ninjas, but it's like, would you recommend it for all your friends and family? Your mum enjoys lots of films. Would you recommend it for her?
Yeah.
Your great granddad, would he like it?
If he was alive, I mean, he did pretty well after surviving Auschwitz.
Yeah, so I think he would have loved it.
He lived till 2010, I hope.
So he could have seen this over 100 times.
Yeah, I hope he saw it.
For all we know, he loved this film, and there's nothing to suggest otherwise.
Yeah, because there are Polish subtitles available.
You know, he always claimed, whenever you mentioned a movie to him, he always claimed he'd seen it. So,
I knew it.
like, he'd be like, what are you watching? Obviously
Surf
in Polish.
Ninjas, yeah.
What are you watching? Surf Ninjas. Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, and he loves it. I
But if
imagine.
you had been watching Surf Ninjas, he would have said I've seen it, but he would have also sat down.
He
and
would have
watched
said something like, you know, the butterfly effect is a really interesting thing, and I'm thinking if World War II didn't happen, we might not have this movie.
it. Yeah.
It is interesting. So, yeah, we've been Spin Polish. Like all the social medias, we've got the Facebook page, we've got our iTunes up and running, and we've got the...
Instagram.
Oh, do we need an Instagram?
It'd just be photos of you guys.
Do we need a
It would
Twitter?
just be photos of
Yeah.
microphones,
Yeah.
but in like different shades of color.
Yeah, different filters.
Twitter
So,
for our
yeah,
selfies?
Spin Polish Presents. We're on Facebook and iTunes and the Podbean. You know, like some
Snapchat.
stuff. Oh, Snapchat. Yeah, it would just be like a Snapchat
Just be
of like...
nudes.
Yeah.
Just down nudes.
So, this has been us talking about some unappreciated masterpieces. Thank you very much for joining me.
Yes. Give us recommendations, give us comments, because the only comment on the whole page is by me. That's pretty sad. So, we want your comments.
Please do not leave the comments solely to Bartek. Contribute your own. I know we all appreciate his comments. Please contribute.
The
your
one
own.
comment I made.
One's enough.
And that's the end of that podcast.
I think I like that comment too.
Like your own comment.
No, Ryan liked it as the page.
I like it.
As if it's not you involved.
Yes. All right. Thanks very much, listening people.